it is time. So without further ado, we are beginning the top 16. And let's find out what Ultimate Duelist Cam Neal has in store for us today as he competes alongside many other great duelists. And Cam's going first now. Rocking out the classic field against his opponent, I don't know, Just Blue. Gonna start off with the Piri Reyes map, so we're playing some Yummy here, paying half the life points. And then gonna go ahead and summon Cupsy Yummy. Cupsy Yummy's getting Yummy Surprise, which kind of telegraphs in the hand you probably have a decent handful of Yummy monsters. Link summoning into Yummy Snatching. Ooh, wow, the Royal Yummy, nice. That's going to go ahead and get the Yummy Amusement Mignon, so a little bit of pain there because it was coming from the hand to the field. Going to use the Yummy Amusement Mignon to bring back the Cupsy Yummy. And then we got our first Link Row summon of the day here. I imagine it's going to be a Cupsy Yummy way. It is Cupsy Yummy way, so we're going to try to get a few more resources, kind of sculpt that hand, maybe discard additional card we don't need. That's going to be Cookie Yummy and Lollipop Yummy. So the Yummy gang is all here except Marshmallow Yummy. And the discard is Marshmallow Yummy, so then we'll get to see the sort of mini combo. You get to use Yummy Surprise to bring back Yummy, or should be Marshmallow Yummy, and then bring back the Yummy Surprise from the Marshmallow Yummy's effect. But Cam's taking a little pause here, trying to figure out what he wants to do next. Still haven't seen anything from, I don't know, Just Blue, certainly telegraphing that he's on Yummy as well, right? He's got his Yummy icon, he's got Yummy Snatchy as the mate, but hasn't played a single card. No Mole Charmies, no Ash Blossoms, nothing like that. So activating the effect here of Marshmallow Yummy. Going to use that to bring back a single copy of... Oh, actually didn't use the effect there, interestingly enough. But instead we'll get the Martial Metal Marcher, activating its effect to bring back a tuner. And the tuner's going to be the Cupsy Yummy way. Sometimes we see this turn into a Sprite Elf, but it looks like it's just going to be a single Link summon here for an additional Yummy Snatchy, interestingly enough. But now Lollipop Yummy joining the fray. Probably go for Herald of the Arclight here. Doesn't feel like too bad of a time. You've got the materials, but there's certainly a bunch of different combo routes. But he may just not be worried about it. But it seems like going for the Synchro Summon here. So a tuner, non-tuner monster, level 4. And does choose to go for the Herald of the Arclight for that insulated protection. Now using the Yummy Surprise, feeling a little bit more confident because, of course, you can stop your opponent from trying to stop you. Herald of the Arclight, very powerful card. Too powerful, some might say. But Marshmallow Yummy now appears on the field, finally going to activate its effect. I guess now that you're basically safe from things like Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, this was the right way to do it. Of course, Cam's icon, that red and blue border, signifies that he does know exactly what he's doing. Very quiet duelist, though. Lets his cards do the talking. And speaking of cards doing the talking, I think we'll see a Lollipop Yummy way here. Makes perfect sense. You're going to go ahead and bring back those fallen Yummy cards. Obviously, the advantage of this deck is it just gets to click a lot more buttons than other decks. They have to think very cautiously, which card will I pick next? And instead, Yummy's just like, nah, I got this. Just everything. I'll take one of each. What would you like for your order today, sir? One of each. Check in. Looks like everything's still going according to plan here. No updates from everybody else on the other side. Could be toggle off, by the way. That is certainly a strategy to just kind of keep people from knowing what you're playing. But taking some of the time. Obviously, it's 300 seconds, so may not feel like they're in a rush right now. And I've got the other brackets on the side, so if we get any other updates, I will get pinged accordingly. But a lot of different duels to watch here. And knowing Cam, this is going to be a good one, though, because he is just a very calculated duelist, wants to make sure he gets everything right. Been on the top tables of many different tournaments, winning YCSs. I think I've been for 2 of those where he got wins. But IP Mascarena is summoned here. And it's nice, you know, summoning the team mascot, but that's immediately going to get linked off here. For Sprite Elf. And now you've got the dual protection here. Of course, anything Sprite Elf points to can't be pointed to, right? No targeting. And putting the Kupsiyemi away there feels pretty good. Of course, it's a free level 2. You get another free level 2 next turn, since that is a quick effect that can be activated once per turn. But Sprite Elf is a great card. Kukiyami is dropping down here. Gonna set a card. And another card. And that's it. Okay, so no extension there. No Mitsurugi to be seen. Maybe just didn't get it or didn't want to push too hard in that direction. So now, I don't know, just blue gets to try their hand here. And speaking of rituals, now we're going to activate pre-preparation rights to grab likely Mitsurugi Mirror. But Dominus Purge is already set, so that's going to stop it. Of course, Dominus Purge, you do get that unique access to it. If you're not running Dark, Fire, and Water monsters, but it's even easier if you just set it, so perhaps we don't have any Mitsurugi at all. It does help for sure. All right, so we're going to activate Diviner of the Herald. And sending Herald of the Arclight to the graveyard, activating its effect to try to get a ritual or ritual spell. That could grab Habakiri and then reveal it. I almost think if you're Cam, you let this pass and then you try to stop the Habakiris once per duel effect. So instead of negating it, he's going to activate the Kupsiyemi Wave, tag 2 Yummy monsters out of his graveyard, and just try to interfere with his opponent in that way. Having the 6-star monster out can be kind of scary, considering that if you get Fiendsmith combos in here, and sometimes Fiendsmith Mitsurugi is a thing, you can bring out Triple D Wave High Kick Caesar and then start negating your opponent's summons. But it does look like we're negating that, not going to... I know we are, not negating that. That is going to grab Habakiri. And so I guess we're going to see the Herald here. This feels like the linchpin in when you would try to activate it. But instead, we're actually going to commit to a Synchro summon here, activating the effect of Yummy Snatchy. So let's see what monster ends up getting chosen here. Oh no, replacing the field spell for Acro K. Oh, but here comes the Triple Tactics talent. It's going to be taking control of a monster. That Herald of the Arclight looks pretty good. You kind of have to chain it in order to stop it. And so that will be chained, and that does mean we get a little peek here to see if Cam is bold enough to run Mitsurugi and Dominus Purge at the same time. You can do it, you just can't set the Dominus Purges, or can't activate them from your hand. You have to set them, I should say. It looks like we're going to use the Sprite Elf's effect now, getting out the IP Mascarena. It is a Link 2, one of the greatest Link 2s in the game, using the alternate artwork there. And revealing the Habakiri, it's kind of safer than it was before. But of course, you can try to use the effect here of IP Mascarena if you've just got the right thing in your extra deck. No, looks like we're just going to let it go. So bringing out Saji, but tributing Herald. And that means Saji's effect is going to activate from the field. But of course, if this card is tributed, you get a level 2 or lower fairy monster from the deck. So we'll see what interesting fairy type Diviner of the Herald is going to call out here. Ah, it's Poissonnier de Nivelle. The Poissonnier is going to be able to do a number of things, but it's also just a level 1. So this also could be Yummy Mitsurugi. But when it's summoned, you get to add a level 1 ritual monster or a recipe from the deck to the hand. Adding Miracle Raven here. So this does seem like the huge combo pile we've seen from Yummy Mitsurugi before, where you just kind of keep on summoning stuff. And although Cam was able to put quite a few cards out and still has many pieces of interaction, not trying to undercut him in any way, he does have a lot of card effects he's going to face, right? And that makes sense. Now, I don't know, just Blue's name starts to be the Blue and Ritual and Link monsters, because there's going to be plenty of those in this field. But of course, once per turn during the main phase, Ritual summoning with a card here. So using Miracle Raven's effects. And like a miracle, Ritual summoning as if from nowhere. Going to go ahead and tribute the Poissonnier de Nouvelle. And what goes in must come out. Our Ritual 1 is going to be Ritual summoned. And it is going to be Miracle Raven. Miracle Raven, of course, having that sort of soft effect like Ritual Raven. So changing the battle position of some monster here. Doesn't seem like we're going to have any effect responses there, and special summoning it out, so got plenty of level 1 monsters, but now finally Cam no longer just sitting there watching his opponent play, wants to play himself. So activating the effect of the Yummy Snatchy. Gonna go and pay 100 life points to Synchro Summon here. And the Synchro is Cookie Yummy Way. Makes sense. Time for a Sugar Crash as we target 2 face-up monsters on the field, and they're just gonna take a nap. They've had a little too many cookies today. And so up next, Mitsurugi Ritual being activated here, so we do still have the Habakiri in the hand hiding out, so it might be time for Murakumo from the deck. Plenty of ways to search, but the Cookie Yummy Way is going to chain onto that. I mean, the whole idea of Yummy is just to have more and more card effects from your opponent. So let's see how this works. This IP Master Arena is Chain Link 3. We're going to Link Summon first, and the Link Summon shall be... Could be a Link 3, could be a Link 4, technically could be a Link 2. It looks like we're going to go for SP Little Light, solve some problems. And in between, bringing out Lollipop Yummy and Cupsy Yummy. So Cupsy Yummy able to draw, Lollipop Yummy able to get rid of those cards in the graveyard. But you get to see the ritual here, tributing from the deck. And so Adamasa and Kusanagi go in. And here comes Ame no Habakiri and Mitsurugi. And this is huge when you think about it because so many resources here, considering the 3 tribute effects, and you have the attack reduction from the Ame no Habakiri and Mitsurugi. SP Little Knight is chained. It's going to try to get rid of the Ame no Habakiri and Mitsurugi, which makes sense. Prevent your opponent from tributing it. That way they don't have additional card effects they can use. And then chaining to get rid of the Mitsurugi Ritual from the graveyard there. Just kind of slow things down with the Lollipop Yummy. And finally, just drawing a card with Cupsy Yummy. Oh, no, okay, yeah, just drawing a card, Wasn't sure if they was going to search. That little pause there threw me for a loop. SP Light is going to go ahead and banish. And so, Cam doing a great job defending his field, not letting anything go, but for the most part, we're starting to run out of card effects. We're down to just SP Little Light, the face down, and perhaps our Yummy Way whenever it decides to jump out. Another fine day of dueling here as Triple Tactics Thrust is activated this Sunday morning. Maybe Sunday afternoon if you're on the East Coast or somewhere else around the world. But what card would you grab? Already see the Triple Tactics talent used to suss out the Herald of the Arclight. But looks like the choice is just going to be Preparation of the Rites. So still trying to just get more ritual monsters. This time, level 7 or lower, so it can't be used for a Mitsurugi monster. But instead, it's going to be Illusion of Chaos. We've seen this yesterday during Swiss rounds of the tournament. Of course, Illusion of Chaos you can use to grab out the Magician Souls. And then going to go ahead and use that to return a card. Likely the Illusion of Chaos. We're going to activate the Magician Souls. We might just see that same Illusion of Chaos go down. It's a level 1 monster. And you can technically add Dark Magician to your deck here so that you can summon out the Dark Magician Destruction. I wonder if we're going to see this very tiny pocket engine in the future. But we're going to set 2 spells and traps, so getting rid of the field spell to draw. And then immediately linked over to, I think, Link Karibo. Yeah, it is going to be Link Karibo. Play the game long enough, you start to recognize some things, but it looks like we're going to go ahead and target 2 Light Beast monsters and then return 2 cards. It's going to be the Link Karibo and the Saji off the field. But now we see a similar Link 1 here. So going back into Link Karibo from the Miracle Raven, I almost wonder if you should have gotten rid of the Miracle Raven instead there. Saji obviously very powerful and could be used for rank 4. But Cookie Yummy coming down. Doesn't seem to be using any effects here from, I don't know, just blue. Many blue cards slapping down on the field here. But no progress other than the life points being brought down to 3,900 organically from the Piri Reyes map and the 100 life points paid for Yummy Snatching. Speaking of Yummy Snatching, Link summoned off the Cookie Yummy and then a Cubsy Yummy. Oh no, walls may be closing in here. No effect activated, so you don't trip off the SP Little Light, which could be used to interfere with this play. So now we're going to see a Link Row summon for Cupsy Yummy Way. And it's Blue's turn to continue to add so many cards. And by the by, I mean, when you think about how much he's taken out of his deck, it is a 60-card stack, but he's already gone through the 4 in his hand, 18, 20. Yeah, just so many cards. Of course, there are some in here from the extra decks, and the math might be a little off. But just good, solid stuff here. Again, our duelist playing not only for prizes, but to represent Team IP Mascarena in the 3v3 duel of the Hayo Live EN VTubers. I believe this team is going to be Ouro Kronii and Koseki Bijou, as well as Raora. So some great duelists and people who are pretty experienced in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, both on this side of the pond and across the pond, in Raora's case. They've got to beat Fuamoko, especially Koseki Bijou going in for revenge there from last year's loss. Although it's all in good fun. And speaking of good fun, Yummy Amusement's Mignon is going to amuse us by shuffling some stuff back. And then Lollipop Yummy hitting the field here. Still not activating the SP Little Line. I love how this is the least effects we've seen, maybe ever. But we do see our Yummy Way turned into Yummy Snatchy. So the claw machine becomes the claw itself and places the field spell back onto the field, helpfully, allowing them to special summon out an additional Cups of Yummy. This was an effect activated though, but the SP Little Line appears to pass here. Finally going to push a little harder. I don't know, just blue activating the effect of Cups of Yummy. Looks like it is going to be good. The SP Little Line being held until the very last moment, not wishing to jump in at all. Gonna say the duel certainly takes a serious turn, or serious tune, because of the music playing here. If we were on the flip side here, I don't know, just blue is just jamming out to the Evil Twin Live Twin theme. Very different vibes, very different vibes. But we do see Link Karibo combined with a Yummy for Lollipop Yummy Way, being some of the extra monster zone to make room for additional Yummies on the field. So these are really special, some of the effects negated. Lots of big numbers here. May just be able to go to the battle phase. The SP Little Knight holding out a little too long there. 4,200 attack, by the way. So clearing off the field, one less light beast. Obviously, your opponent losing out on that, but 2,100 life points, and it doesn't take much considering Cam paid or lost half his life points for the Fury Reyes map. So that's the first game there. So good stuff. You know, it seemed like Cam had a really strong start, but Yummy just kind of plays through stuff. I do want to showcase some of our World Championship competitors here, so we're going to take a look at Esper versus X-Slayer. You always just get a good feeling about it. Of course, they're playing best 2 out of 3, so we're trying to see as many duels as we can. He's got that beautiful World Championship. If I actually make myself disappear for a moment, you can see Ruby Carbuncle and the World Championship stage. I believe that's a different platform, so that might be multiple World Championship appearances there from Esper as they stare down their opponent, X-Slayer, bringing out Mitsurugi's finest, tributing Habakiri. And here comes Ameno Murakumo no Mitsurugi. Going for the snakes here. So Mitsurugi Mirror brought from the deck to the hand, activating the Mitsurugi Mirror to tribute up the Murakumo and bring forth Habakiri. Don't worry, Murakumo will be back. He wasn't truly offered as a sacrifice. Released to the gods. He comes back pretty fast here as we add the Mitsurugi Great Purification. X-Slayer already setting up. And big monsters here, of course. Activating the Mitsurugi Prayers just to add the Mitsurugi, no, Mikoto Kusanagi, and then that Furulia finally catching up there with another draw. Then we're going to go and link 2 here. And it's just going to be IP Mascarena. So maybe we'll see something like Dynamondo after 3 sets, and we know one of them has got to be Mitsurugi Great Purification. But Esper draws. Going to activate the Beltrami Tualos in the draw phase. Makes sense, you can get a little bit. And oh my goodness, it's Atachi adding Mister. So Murakumo going to cause the discarding there of the effect failure, which is fine. And that'll add in the backup adding Mister. Still don't know if this is pure Malice deck or if it really is Ignisters. We do see the Lingaribo. Then revealing the backup adding Mister, but that's going to be stopped by Dominus Impulse, but that will be stopped in turn by Lingaribo. Of course, the Mitsurugi Great Purification still out there, but Lingaribo doing its best to be like, no, I've got to get this combo going. So backup adding Mister effect activating 2, that's going to trigger off the Mitsurugi Great Purification, which, as you know, when Murakumo is tributed, can bring itself back. And that's enough for Esper. Esper's seen the ropes. Taking a brief bracket update here. Let's take a look at in-room replays overall. Looks like X-Slayer won Esper. And then Spinobu beat Ivan Ryan. Alice beat the Megahorn. Poi beat Anestus. Hexlex beat Saber. Esper beat X-Slayer. Alice beat the Megahorn. Could be the Megahorn. Hawk beat Phantom Biz. Hein beat Victor Lees. Hexlex beat Saber. Blue beat Cam. Phantom Biz beat Hawk and X-Slayer. So we actually are finding people who do have the results already here. Let's take a look then at, I don't know, just Blue versus Cam's rematch here. But X already advancing there. So the top 8 is starting to be figured out pretty fast. All right, chill music as we get to see this from Blue's perspective. And we're going to start off with a case for K9 as Cam switches up the decks and gets it going first. So adding Joe Cool to the hand means we likely already have another level 5 monster. Let's see what that level 5 is. Is it Spell Canceller? Haven't seen that much. Obviously, it's more of a Crystron play. Looks like it's going to be Vanquish Soul Holly Sue instead. So Holly Sue brings forth a number of combos. The first Joe Cool is going to go ahead and add a non-Aqua K9 monster. Could be Izna, if Izna's not already there. Could be Milroy. Looks like we're going for Lantern, actually, so we expect to get some cards in the graveyard fast. And Holly Sue is going to reveal a Fire and a Dark, maybe including... So it's going to be Xiao Long. Great reveal there, and there's the Lantern for the Dark, so great way to get a Dark monster to sort of complete your Vanquish Soul lineup. Speaking of lineup, in comes our Vanquish Soul Razan. Razan gonna use his effect, grab something out of the deck. Certainly a strong start for Cam, but we saw a strong start from Cam in his first game of the top 16. So, not gonna place any bets on this one. Not that I bet anyway. All right, so grabbing everything he needs from Razan. Looks like we're going to see our first Xyz summon, build the overlay network. 2 level 5s go in, a rank 5 comes out, and it's K917 Ripper insulating those plays, similar to the way that Herald of the Arclight does. It's good whenever your combo can just find a way to say, hey, I'm going to complete this combo. Be gone, Knave, as you try to interfere. But no interference so far from, I don't know, just Blue. Could still be jamming out the Yummy Mitsurugi. Seems to be flagging the same sleeves here. But now we'll see the K966V Lantern. Lantern going to grab Joe Cool out, partners in crime. And then add another K9 Speller Trap. Could be the release this time. But it's actually just going to be a supplemental copy of a case for K9. And one more Xyz summon. He gets another. So we're going to see the Nash Knight in defense mode, able to try to steal off the opponent's monsters, but just going to go ahead and detach the materials now. Use the effect. Possibly going in for the rank up. And typically it's been Nash Knight's bigger form. Maybe a Chaos Xyz. It is Xyz Nash Knight. And so usually this is Umbral Horror Masquerade off of the rank up. So Cam just very methodically playing out the K9 Vanquish Soul deck, not leaving anything to chance, not stunting, and there is the Umbral Horror Masquerade. Gonna use that effect to destroy a case for K9. To use its effect to go ahead and set a quick play spell card here. Now the rank 5 certainly helpful and a great piece on the board. Speaking of great piece on the board, why don't we go ahead and commit to our first normal summon of the turn, actually. It's going to be Vanquish Soul Dr. Madlove, and that's going to add Vanquish Soul Start. So again, Cam's getting everything out of this extremely powerful deck. Vanquish Soul Start is going to activate here. I love this deck because, you know, a lot of decks have 2 decks at the same time. What's great about this one is it can just kind of alternate back and forth and back and forth. Like, you don't have to go one way all the way and then the other, as you typically see in Yummy Mitsurugi or perhaps certain Beansmith combos. This is just like, yeah, I'm just going to play combo jazz. Eddie Borger revealing itself. I think we're going to go ahead and swap out the Dr. Madlove. Typically, most players would just reveal. For an additional draw, have one more piece in the arsenal, perhaps a card you can activate from the hand that meets one of those holy attributes. Could be Dark, could be Fire, could be Earth. Max CV in at 1. You have been seeing a lot of retaliating C's here, but looks like we're not going to use that effect at all. Just going to set a card and end our turn. finally starting things off with the Vanquish Soul start in the end phase. So Set the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil has everything needed, really. Oh, okay, just gonna put the Heavy Border at the end phase there. So activating that, getting one last draw. Doesn't seem like there's any response from the opponent. So I don't know, Just Blue has their work cut out for them. Let's see what they do. And it is a lot of level 5s. Paying attention at home, it is just 5s on 5s on 5s. So K9, obviously a lot of level 5s, but the Holly Sue really helps out with making additional use of that and being a level 5 herself. Is eligible to be brought back with K9 66A, Joe Pool, or 66B. But you don't need a lantern to light the way here to know where this is going. Pre-preparation of the rights is activated, so we're definitely at least on Mitsurugi, and maybe something else, as Mitsurugi Mirror added from the deck to the hand, and I assume we're going to go for Habakir if we don't already have it. Could have been testing the waters with the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring there. Certainly very powerful in any deck, but in Cam's K9 deck, it's even better because it represents one of the 3 attributes. One of the reasons why sometimes you see DD Crow and K9 Vanquish Soul, because it's a dark, and it's a really good dark. Cards that are dark that activate from the hand, not necessarily like few and far in between, but just not an everyday occurrence, right? DD Crow, Rebo technically, and things like Skullmeister, right? There are quite a few out there. Well, I'll tell you, Koseki Bijou is an incredible duelist that really tries to feel out the whole format. So whenever she gets her training arc on, which I think her training arc stream is supposed to start pretty soon, maybe today, even depending on where you are in the world, just encourage her. You know, be part of her chat, be part of her community, and say, hey, have you tried this deck yet? And maybe she will. She really surprised, I think, a lot of the dueling community when she showed up with the White Forest stuff. Oh, so you recognize me. Yep, I maybe am that very same person, and I might be headed to the 300th YCS in just a few days. But good of you to notice. In my off time, I still love chatting about Yu-Gi-Oh! So here we are as Vanquish Soul Heavy Border activates its effect and grabs Chain Link 5 of the many chain links that we have here. But yeah, I've been doing this for 25 years. Oh my goodness, has it really been 25 years of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game? And yeah, started Twitch at an early time. And you're allowed to tell everybody to play Adult Choose IEG. Be loud and proud about your favorite deck. Somebody's got to be. A lot of spectators on this one, by the way, if you say. Hey, anytime, anytime. And thank you for noticing, too. But speaking of noticing, notice that we're on Chain Link 2. We haven't resolved it yet. I don't know, Just Blue taking a moment there to think about which Mitsurugi card they're going to go in and add. Hey, Lost, good to see you. We're going to go ahead and use that Vanquish Soul start, revealing the Holly Sue, to protect the Vanquish Soul monsters. Sort of a break in the chain there, but everybody else gone to the grave. Mitsurugi's Ame no Murakumo is kind of a good monster. There's a lot of duelists, you know, you explain where modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is at, and they're always like, wait, that card could do that? That's unfair. I'm like, no. Every card is unfair. Every card feels like it's the most powerful card you've ever heard of, and we just get to play. It's a joy to play. But speaking of playing, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring here to say or maybe urara if you're speaking Japanese, to just say no generally to anything trying to bring something out of the deck. But it seems like the Vanquish Soul monsters were going to be okay, but a little bit of interference here with Ash Blossom is called by the grave, is activated, banishing it, and keeping that effect off for 2 whole turns, which is pretty important here. That means that your opponent's not going to be able to use any Ash Blossom on your turn, but also on the next turn, and you know that Ash Blossom is such a great card in Vanquish Soul because it is that Holy Fire attribute. So grabbing the Harpy's Feather Duster, by the way. Oh no. Not like this. You don't see that every day, but Harpy's Feather Duster is going to get activated. Let's see if there's anything that can be done in response to it. Looks like the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil's getting chained. That's not going to stop the Feather Duster. There's going to be a lot of card effects at once. So revealing Earth, Fire. And do you love that magic trick that the card became 3 different cards, all from the right side there? Cam's right, our left. I'm going to practice that at home so I can reveal one card and then reveal the same card, but it's a different card each time. But no magicians to be seen here. But another trick is pulled out of I Don't Know Just Blue's hat as they tribute for the Mitsurugi prayers, getting rid of Murakumo. So Murakumo's going to be gone for a moment, which will protect it from being on the field. No interference from the Snow Devil. So just going to activate the add effect. Wasn't going to use both. Doesn't want to special summon anything because doesn't want it to be victim here. So 400 life points right off the top, then 600, then 800. Definitely hurts. And there's the Feather Duster. What do we lose? The other two cards, I believe, were Case for K9 and the Forced Release. So we may actually see the Case for K9 activated here. A nice little bluff there. When you have that many cards, you hope your opponent Feather Dusters, because if they do Feather Duster, then you get moments to activate it. But it doesn't look like we're going to set any additional quick play spell cards. So we'll recycle the Mitsurugi Mirror. And then Murakumo's coming back for its revenge against those Vanquish Souls as it adds Mitsurugi Ritual from the deck to the hand, and then special summons itself via its own effect from the graveyard. Thank you again for joining us. It's going to be a shorter day today because we're just going to do top 16, top 8, top 4, top 2, and maybe a second place, or excuse me, a third place playoff. But we're glad you're here, because it's just wild to have this caliber of dueling talent just dueling for our viewing pleasure. Of course, they're also trying to compete to represent Team IP Masquerena in the 3v3 4th anniversary tournament, and that's forever. You know, it'll be like the 10th anniversary of Master Duel, and you'll be like, no, I was the representative on the 4th anniversary. I'm the guy. Well, I'm the 4th year's guy, one of many. But jokes aside, I Don't Know Just Blue, just trying to keep working through the turn here. And now we're going to see Mitsurugi Ritual activated. I don't think we're going to tribute the Murakumo off. It's insulating plays here with its effects, so we're going to go ahead and Ritual Summon one from the hand by tributing from the deck. Could be a Futsu no Mitama. Haven't seen that yet. Not everybody runs all three names. But let's see. Stars go in, stars come out. It's just Habakiri turning into Habakiri. There are. So Esper is here and Victor Lee is here. So 3 Worlds competitors so far. Maybe somebody didn't want to use their icon, but usually when you go to Worlds and you get the red-blue, you stick it out. Cam's certainly no stranger to the World Championship. I think his first appearance was 2024, but he was a follow-up selected team member for 2025 as well. But not a stranger to anything. I think the only thing I haven't seen Cam top in is dueling, so he's a Texas local. I need to go track him down and be like, have you considered winning at this game too? But he's not winning right now, as Murakumo and Habakiri have really cleared the board. We're getting over to main phase 2. Take a look at preparation of the rights here. Adding the Angry Burger. Well, it is not lunchtime for us. And also adding from the graveyard Mitsurugi Ritual. So really great way to have those in different ways to like recycle the ritual that you can activate multiple times. And then gonna actually activate the effect of Angry Burger. Let's take a little bite out of this right here. And then getting the Poissonnière de Nivelles. If I remember, that's like the fish cook. Because poisson is Francais for fish. But speaking of fish, we're going to fish Miracle Raven out of the deck. Because you do get to add a level 1 ritual. Just really, really good deck building. Understanding that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is almost a spreadsheet of different pieces of information. Whether it's the level, the rank, the type, the attribute, or something else. And making this really cool, almost small world level chain of what these cards have in common to get right to this moment. Because now you got another ritual here. I just love the creativity of Duelists. Every time you see a combo, you're like, oh, that's really good. And then everybody does it, and people are like, oh, I'm so bored of seeing that thing. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience is a good one. But speaking of which, we're going to Ritual Summon here. And so 1-1, a Miracle Raven is to be held. And then jumping into the Pendulum Zone here. As the best deck, we like to joke, we're going to see the Poissonnière. And then Poissonnière is going to go ahead and rotate that to defense mode. But now we've got 2 level 1 monsters. Let's go ahead and see that Link summon. We may be about to start our full yummy combo from here. So the way it works is a World Championship competitor, if they win their World Championship, they are automatically eligible to participate in the World Championship the following year, but there was no auto invite. So for instance, Jesse Cotton was a Team Fuamoko participant last year, but he still had to participate in the tournament and did not make it to the top cut, so maybe we'll see him next, or actually on the next Deckmaster Cup in 2 weeks from now. Speaking of time passing, a few things have been done on Cam's side as he goes ahead and activates the effect of the Holly Sue, but it's going to get chained to by Murakumo. Murakumo demanding more cards. Cam certainly has plenty to spare, so he gets rid of K9 Noroi. Vanquishal Razen hit the field off of the effect of the Vanquishal Holly Sue, of course, having discarded that Noroi to make sure that it went through. So Caesar Valia is added from the deck to the hand. Now it's time to really get in here destroying the Link Karibo by revealing the Xiaolong, which is also going to summon itself to the field. The Dr. Madlove's just there for moral support. We didn't see that yesterday, by the way, talking about time limits. A number of duelists actually timed out on stream. All right, got a little bit of insight for some of our future events here. Top secret for now, but just know that the future of dueling is bright. But right now, speaking of time ticking, as we were just talking about it, it's just like we're just hanging. A lot of Vanquishal, but remember, duelists can freely change their decks and have them. Oh, but that's the scoop. Has it been 45 minutes already? I mean, it kind of might have been, but it looks like, I don't know, just Blue surrendered there, just unable to keep playing through. So let's take a look at the info we got here. We've got our in-room replays. So Cam having won that one. Are we going to game 3, perhaps? Yeah, it looks like Cam went and cornered, I don't know, just Blue, so they only have a little bit of time left to duel, actually. We do have Ivan Ryan versus Spinobu. I do want to check that out because this may be the last opportunity we have to show the Sultan of Snakes. This is already on my YouTube channel, but there's just some incredible gameplay from there. But so far, it's best 2 out of 3. We'll go ahead and take a look at all their scores in just a moment, but it does look like Ivan Ryan has built his Temple of Snakes. He's going second. He's going up against Spinobu, who is playing K9 Vanquishal. Could be just Vanquishal, we'll see. You can play pure Vanquishal. Pure Vanquishal is still good. Yeah, Ogre Peak, you're absolutely right. You could definitely join in the tournament, so different regions, different rules, but we all want you to duel. I love the cheers of the Serpent King, by the way. It's just, when you see that, if he's playing the deck, and I hope he is, it's a real treat to watch, and it's starting to catch wildfire. People are really starting to notice what's going on here. We got a lot of spectators on this match, too, since I believe it is like the last duel left in the tournament. Speaking of which, on the K9 board, I mean, we are just setting up so much just with the Vanquishal alone. But now we're going to have our first of 2 summons. We'll see if it's K9 Ripper after all. And it is K9 17 Ripper. So the 5th summon is a strong one. Stop those Nibiru's in their tracks in advance. But using the effect to add the Jokool, Jokool is going to reveal a Xiaolong and summon both of those. Then we'll go ahead and use that to add a Lantern from the deck to the hand. We're going to go for the Link 1 here for the Rock of the Vanquisher off of the Vanquishal Raisin. But best 2 out of 3, again, we're going to go and check all the results so we can see who advances to our top 8. And we'll even get a bracket update from our production crew behind the scenes. Nash Knight, stomp it on down. And this combo has been popular. We saw it earlier from other duelists as they Chaos Exceeds into Nash Knight Plus here. And then using Lantern to go ahead and get the partner, Jokool, out of the graveyard there. Then to get the case for K9, which means, of course, you can Xyz summon into C104 Umbral Masquerade and destroy that case for K9 in order to set your own copy of K9X Force Release. So you are forcing the release, right? You're getting rid of the K9's case. And I'm starting to think that Werewolf did it. I'm starting to think, like, if you had to ask me how I would try to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt, I don't know. But I'm getting very suspicious of Lucas. Feels pretty good. We haven't seen Noroi yet. Instead, we're going to link 4 into Saryuja Skuldred. We saw this yesterday in the Swiss round, but it's still so cool to see. To shuffle away so many cards, special summon an additional monster there for the Dr. Madlove, and then discard a card. That's how many cards Spinobu had. I think it might actually be Snake time. So Mitsurugi, Mirror, and I mean, a Monokuma no Mitsurugi. Now, the reason I say the Sultan of Snakes, this is so much different than your average Snake deck. And I think he's going to be fine with Call by the Grave. Get ready to point and laugh. I'm going to disappear for just a second here. Oh my goodness, it's so cool. It's just neat to see the new Call by the Grave. I haven't pulled it yet. But that's wild as we recycled a Heavy Borger. So Saji's going to get summoned. But we're going to chain our Umbral Horror Masquerade. Negate that effect. Getting rid of an Ogdoadic monster. This is pure Snakes, but that Ogdoadic monster kind of likes being in the graveyard, if I recall correctly. Aramasa was tributed, so that'll add from the deck to the hand Wolves, who, remember, we did not resolve the effect of our card. So no Droll and Lockbird here, but Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring here to try to stop the Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi. But now it's Ogdoadic Daybreak, tributing, getting all the tokens in the world. So 2 for each of the levels. So our Ogdoadic tokens now link summoning into Reptile Echidna, just like last week. This is so cool. Every duel is doing a great job, but when you come in with something that nobody has seen or nobody feels brave enough to play, that's exciting. That's exciting, genuinely. All right, so Spinobu, not down and out, not by a long shot, using all the Vanquish Soul combos they can to go ahead and get Razen out to the field and then reveal for the Caesar Velius, using the effect of the Razen to go ahead and try to destroy the Reptile Echidna here, but going to tribute the Sachi instead to prevent the destruction of a fellow reptile monster. Caesar Velius comes out now, going to try to do this one more time. Got to stop the Snakes at all costs. You picked a good time to jump in just to see. It's a lot of what the TCG has, actually. If you were a TCG duelist and you were coming in, you kind of see a lot of familiar faces, right? Ritual Reptiles is a big deck, as you're seeing now, from the Mitsurugi family. Of course, these cards will be widely available next month from the Legendary Modern decks. It's just gonna, you just buy the deck set, it's like, yeah, here's a full Mitsurugi court. You can play. And we've got K9 Vanquish Soul. Duel Link's doing great, by the way. Friendly reminder, there is a Deckmaster Cup next week for both Speed Duel and Rush Duel. So if you're a Duel Links enthusiast, we've got some time for you. Not next week, 2 weeks from now. But more Snake action coming as the Futsu no Mitama no Mitsurugi is tributed, getting its effects. So let's see it go ahead and add another Mitsurugi prayer from the deck to the hand and special summon itself back to the field. But this is kind of showing like 2 out of the 3 top decks actually kind of like 2 halves make one deck, K9 and Vanquish Soul, and then the Mitsurugi pure stuff here is just a treat to watch. As we banish the Ogdoadic Daybreak on Ivan's side to go ahead and recycle some of these fallen reptiles. And now we got another Link summon, Reptile Echidna's back. So gonna use the effects, add Nalia, the Ogdoadic Remnant, and Black Mamba from the deck to the hand here. And Nalia, the Ogdoadic Remnant. Going to go ahead and try to motivate all these menacing Snakes, and then we get both Nalia and the Ogdoadic Lord on the field, adding the Ogdoadic Water Lily from the deck to the hand. Another Link. This should be the Selene Snapper. Oh, we're going for Gorgon of Zilithonia. So, big monster, by the way, able to just clear out so much because it gains attack based on what it points to. We're going to go and tribute the Night Sword Serpent in the middle of the battle phase, take 800, bring back the Habakiri, reduce the attack of opposing monsters. It'll get protected, though, by revealing a Vanquish Soul monster. Holly Sue, Vanquish Soul start doing some good work there. then just doing so much damage. The Night Sword Serpent somewhere out there, but Black Mamba the next to be seen. We're going to see Heavy Borger try to tag out here. Yeah, we're happy to help RPG friends. It's a good time and a good tournament as we see some great gameplay. Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi going to go ahead and activate its effect, trying to get a Reptile, fishing it out of the graveyard here. But we will see 1,500 damage attempted to be inflicted to the opponent with a Heavy Borger as time starts to run low here. Maybe just able to do this on effect damage alone, but now we've got another Link Summon. And this has got to be Selene Snapper. It is Ragnarika Selene Snapper. So we'll see this monster that supports reptiles, insects, and plants go ahead and destroy the Force Released and the Vanquish Soul start. Then up next, a Link 4, it's Ragnarika Chain Coils. Augmented Warrior Lily, Watcher Lily, excuse me, got a little too excited. Goes ahead and sends another Ongoatic monster to the graveyard to bring Nephilim back to the field. And that's the end phase for now. 500 life points is low, but so 17 whenever you're fighting Vanquish Soul. Oh, and there's the scoop. I think we are out of time on this round. 45 minutes, best 2 out of 3. Let's go into the game and find out who advances in our top 8. So, your top 8 is going to be... Here we go, just looking at our win ratios here. Cam is actually still fighting. We got to join that soon. But we know Heinz for sure, Alice, Hexlex, Ivan, HB Hawk, X-Slayer, and Poi making it to the top 8, which means we still got one last game to check out. I'm going to use the fast forward button and speak as fast as humanly possible to catch us up to live play while still understanding what it is that we're doing. But Snakes take it. Snakes can make it. All right, I don't know, just Blue going first. Hit the fast forward button. Gameplay going to move a little fast as we start off with our Mitsurugi prayers to immediately grab Habakiri, reveal Habakiri, but that's going to be met with a Mulch Army Koalas. Called by the Grave's going to stop that Mulch Army Koalas, and I know I sound like an auctioneer, but we got to get this done somehow. Saji is summoned. Saji's effect is going to activate when it was tributed. Mitsurugi Ritual added from the deck to the hand. We'll activate Triple Tactic Talent to show that we're on K9 Vanquish Soul and get rid of Vanquish Soul Holly Sue. Then we'll activate Mitsurugi Ritual in order to send what appear to be Aramasa and Kusanagi to the graveyard to bring out our Ameno Habakiri and Mitsurugi. Both those tributed monsters' effects will activate in order to add a Nebula Habakiri to the hand and fish out of the graveyard a Mitsurugi Ritual, which will be activated in order to ritual summon to bring out the Murakumo from the deck. Finally, we'll go ahead and see the Mitsurugi Ritual go back to the deck, and we'll special summon back the Ameno Habakiri no Mitsurugi and ritual summon another Ameno Habakiri no Mitsurugi, and then use the effect of Ameno Murakumo no Mitsurugi to bring itself back and search another card. But we're not done yet as we reveal Illusion of Chaos in order to grab that Magician's Soul, place the card back, activate Magician's Soul. So this is Yummy Mitsurugi. But we're going to go ahead and bring out our Sky Striker Ace. Carmelia, Izuna jumps in. Lupus special summon out of Cam's graveyard, attempting to do more. And we are going to discard a Vanquish Soul Xiaolong to make the Nash Knight to go ahead and clip off the field that Carmelia. But we still see more here. Yummy Stanchi is going to go ahead and summon himself out. So then we get the Yummy Amusement Mignon that targets the Lolipo Yummy. Special summoning a Cupsy Yummy for your trouble, adding Cupsy Yummy. And Marshmallow Yummy with the Cupsy Yummy Way from the deck, discarding the Marshmallow Yummy, and that's the scoop. The 800 damage, I think, may have been enough. So let's go ahead and take a look at our top 8. Had to speed through that one, but I'm glad we got to catch that too. So we do have our top 8. Hardy Malcy. And I'm going to get this on the screen. So this will be... There we go. So officially, here's our bracket, just so you can keep track at home. We've got Heinz advancing over Victor Lee. We've got Poi advancing over Anestis. Jeff the Person Man advancing over Mega Yam. Vera advancing over Cam. They did make it. Hellblazer Hawk advancing over Phantom Vizcon. Unfortunately, I know there's some cheering for him in the chat. Didn't make it this time, but there's always 2 weeks from now. X-Slayer moves forward over Esper, a World Championship competitor has fallen. And Ivan Ryan beats Spinobu, and Hexlex beat Red Saber. In fact, all 3 World Championship competitors have been knocked out of the tournament already. We got ourselves, I don't want to say it's amateur hour because these duelists are obviously very, very good. But those who had proof of their winning record are no longer here. Wow, that's... Oh, if I'm the rap god, yeah, when you speak the Yu-Gi-Oh language, you just can, like, spin it like it's fire, but unfortunately not many card effects rhyme. Unless you're saying activate and rhyming it with activate. But yeah, there are some hometown heroes here to make it. And I'm glad we got to see Ivan's deck because there's a lot of that gameplay. If you check out my YouTube channel, which I'm just going to link in the chat here so you can see last week, you don't got to do it now. But if you want snaky gameplay, it's in there. Phantom Viz! Oh, well, you did great. You did great. Anybody who made it this far, and remember, Phantom, 2 weeks, you can still represent SP Little Knight's team. And then you can literally take your revenge on the people who beat you. Get it done, Duelists. And, great job. Great job getting this far. 10 rounds of Swiss yesterday. That was a lot. About 5.5 hours of gameplay. So, y'all did great. All right. The quest continues. And thank you for joining us because we are about to start another best 2 out of 3. So, to advance to the top 8, the best way to think of it is if you look here, their win should say 4, right? Because they'll have 2 more wins under their belt, and that's how we're going to know who's top 4. We're going to play the whole thing out today. The finals for the 3v3 is going to be on February 28th at the end of the month. And yeah, throughout this month, remember, all of the HoloLive EN cast are going to be training for their 3v3. So you get to look forward to Ouro Kronii, Koseki Bijou, Fuwamoko being the winners last year, Raora, Kali, and Nerissa. Yeah, that's everybody. That's everybody. That is a stacked cast of Duelists. And you can check out all their YouTube channels. They're going to be streaming throughout the month. I think some of them today. And you can tell them how to duel, give them tips, updates, maybe get a chance to duel them in ranked. And for everything else, you know, it's going to be a really crazy tournament when we get to the end of the month. It's going to be good times. We are going to move on now to top 8. So in a second, we'll see those spectates light up here. Very curious about Hexlex versus Ivan, because if I pull up our infographic again, just to see it on my side, Hexlex came into the tournament as the number 6 seed, and their opponent, Ivan actually only scraped in as number 14th. So we want to see everybody, though, so we'll try to check it out. And it looks like the first ones to be ready here are X-Slayer versus HP Hawk. We haven't seen Hawk's gameplay this tournament. This day. Yesterday we got to see some good stuff. All right, speaking of good stuff, it's time to duel. Oh, and it's the K9 mirror match field. I mean, I don't know if they're both playing K9, but the song is going to be K9. Well, at least one of them is on the Vanquish Soul, so starting off with Razan, which is the Japanese pronunciation. If you say Raisin, that's fine, because Raisin would mean, you know, blaze and on fire. I think it's a fire attribute monster. Vanquish Soul start. Gonna target that Vanquish Soul Raisin. And now we're gonna go ahead and grab a different attribute. It's gonna be the Heavy Burger. Plays live now, so it might slow down. Won't be talking like a auctioneer anymore. But we do go ahead and bring out the Heavy Burger. Obviously 2 options here. You could just draw, and drawing looks like what we're going to do. I will say, you know, Vanquish Soul used to catch a lot of heat because of all the effect damage it did. You'd be like, end of duel, 1500, I win, right? But now that, you know, we're just using the normal TCG rules in the TCG, it's not catching that heat. But in this tournament uses the old life point rule. So whoever has higher life points at the end of that time call wins. So Vanquish Soul is definitely a good pick for this tournament. Now that we have 2 level 5s on the field, X-Slayer jumping in and discarding the Mulcharmy Fuwalos. And it looks like we might chain to that to special summon his Chain Link 2 just to dodge a single draw. Deny them that 1 card. That is fair, Ogre Pink down there in the chat. Yeah, if you just were like playing to compete to who played more effects, Vanquish Soul probably wins. But Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring stopping the Holly Sue, dead cold. So now if you're going to bring anything out, you are giving your opponent more cards. But they're kind of starved right now. I mean, 3 cards, not bad. You can do a lot with 3 cards, but it's certainly not as good as having 5 cards. So we'll see if HB Hawk continues to press. And they end their turn. They see what I saw. This is good enough. you've got your opponent like kind of with their back to the wall, and with Vanquish Soul, you can keep playing on their turn and do some really good stuff. Effect damage, draw cards, maybe even destroy stuff in the extra monster zone column. So they were just like, nah, I'm good. Pass. It is a mirror match. Case for K9 activated on X-Slayer's side. We're going to get down to the bottom of this. Somebody is going to get accused of a crime today. And we're going to find out exactly who as these police dogs wage war against each other. One at least supported by a fighting game cast. We'll see if X-Slayer is doing the same here. K966A Jokul tagging in Lupus. Usually see Lupus from the deck, but now we're seeing the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. Oh, and that's the scoop. X-Slayer knows they're down and out. That's too much. So they turned themselves in. I did it. Cuff me. I'll take my loss. We haven't seen Poi versus Hines. So we'll take a look over here on this side. I definitely think Lupus did it. It's, what's my evidence? Exhibit A, Your Honor. The werewolf scratches on the concrete. All right, flagging Malice here on Poi's side. Malice still a great deck. But Odeon, it's the man. The man with the mark getting stuffed by Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, unfortunately. For Hines. Just going to set 2, but that's honestly not that bad. But man-sighted. It's a great deck. You can win a YCS, but let's stake our soul here. Revealing Holly Sue. And that's also going to get hit with an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So nobody's stealing anyone's nose so far. Triple Tactics talent activated, going to draw 2 cards. Poi trying to do just a little better than before. Normal setting the Vanquish Soul Razet, but oh, the Infinite Impermanence, stuffing that dead cold. It is a trap card, and it's Odeon after all. I love that he's just standing on the field by himself like, yeah, I gotcha. I can get this done. But Razet not going to be alone as we go to Rocket the Vanquisher here, able to bring back the Razan. Case for K9 is activated. We did activate a monster effect from the hand, but we don't even need to worry about that as we reveal Holly Sue. Oh, but the Dominus Impulse, another great trap, but that is going to destroy it. We do reveal Holly Sue, so she's coming out one way or the other, but the Joe Cool is going to go to the graveyard, at least for the moment. Could have a Lantern, you never know. But negate and destroy. And now it's that end phase. Nothing happening on either side here. So now we see Treasure of the Kings must have been hard drawn there. Rocket the Vanquisher is going to go and chain its card effect, special summoning. And Razan trying to do its best to get rid of the man with the mark as fast as possible. So once it's normal summon, we're going to see the Dr. Madla, but are we chaining? We're live in terms of the gameplay. Temple of the King's going to activate, so we're not using the Razan just yet. Special summoning gets in the middle, though. Well, now we got 2 mans with the mark, so it's not like you're getting out of that card effect anytime soon. Man. Ooh, and Verdict of Anubis. Okay, this is like some real Odeon gameplay. Not everybody chooses to run that card. Men. The men with the marks are here. Certainly Tomb Keepers are a great deck. It's not Gravekeeper, that's a separate deck. It's not Odeon. Odeon never played these cards. But you know it's kind of Odeon inspired, but Tomb Keepers are his clan. We'll see Silhouette Rabbit, though. 2 men go into the hat, and the rabbit comes out. And the Trick du Gel is going to be the Apophis, the Swamp Deity. Well, we'll see. Remember, Hines had to play 10 rounds of Swiss. So, definitely played against some K9 Vanquish Soul to get here. Sets another card. Okay. So, it looks like we're going to go for the turn change. Going right into the Apophis the Serpent. Gonna go and set a Apophis trap monster that can be activated that same turn. I love that this is like strangely back and forth. You know, this is not a shutdown, and both duelists able to interact with each other at a very high level. There's so many different card effects you can use. But This is something totally different than I think we have experienced throughout yesterday's Swiss runs. We didn't see, I think, a single Odeon player. So Swamp Deity stands alone. No effect there from our Silhouette Rabbit. Probably don't want to destroy a case for K9. You know, the police are a little sensitive when you interfere with their investigation. You might be forced to release them. But little Yu-Gi-Oh puns aside, looks like we're actually going to steal the monster with the lowest defense. You don't get any lower than 0. So Silhouette Rabbit now swapping sides. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that from yesterday, but we did have Witchcrafter versus, like, starter deck Blue Eyes in the top tables. Neither duelist made it, but it was really wild to see that. Like, it was like turn 9, Witchcrafter versus Blue Eyes. All right, but this duel is still heating up. Going to be a Link to SP Little Light, taking advantage of the Silhouette Rabbit and moving SP Little Light down to the main monster zone, considering we do have the Link arrow from the Rock of the Vanquisher, and going to try to banish. Could be chained. Do have plenty of Apophis cards here. So Apophis the Swamp Deity is going to negate card effects. It's going to force the SP Little Knight out. So SP Little Knight's going to go ahead and target the Rock of the Vanquisher and also the opposing Apophis the Swamp Deity. Still going to just chain another Apophis the Swamp Deity. You're not getting out of this one. But that does mean that's going to force the activation of the Rock of the Vanquisher here. So let's resolve this complex chain. Not as complex as they get with these two duelists, but we're going to use Rock of the Vanquisher to bring back Raisin. And now we've got our Apophis the Swamp Deity splashing down the field, negating the SP Little Light very late in the chain, and the Rock of the Vanquisher, so it can't use its other effects later. Finally, another monster shows up and able to negate even further here. So negating a case for K9 and the Holly Sue, a field of blank cards basically on Toy's side. Lots of trap stuff to play through. But 5 cards in hand, Poi certainly could come up with a strong combination of cards here. Doesn't take much. Lots of Link arrows on board too. But he's thinking about it. You get your opponent thinking, that's a good time. Where they don't just instinctively go, oh, we'll play that. But it looks like we're going to tribute for K904 Noroi and special summon a non-machine K9 monster from the deck. Maybe played a little too hard with that last negate there. Obviously, you want to keep your monsters on the field. Having a bunch of trap monsters in defense mode is fine, but if you've been paying attention, it's probably just Verdict of Anubis face down. So we see Lupus, and we're going to look at the opponent's hands, and it's just a tuner, so we know the Verdict of Anubis is face down. Getting rid of a case for K9. But now we shall build the overlay network. And K9, 17 Ripper. I mean, it's not like your opponent's going to activate the card effects, but you might as well go ahead and grab yourself a 66B Lantern. There's plenty of things in the graveyard, so immediately the Lantern's revealed. Everything going Poi's way here. They just have to sort of close things out this turn. If you're cheering for the man with the mark, it isn't looking good as K9 Izna is added from the deck to the hand. Lantern going to activate its effect as well. Forced release. This already is looking like you could just attack through it for the most part. 8,000 life points. Tried to play it safe, but at least it's best 2 out of 3. We're just getting started. K966X Jax. Power of Aqua and Pyro combined to make a Fiend for some reason. Last time I mixed Fire and Water, it just put the fire up. But either or, looks like we are going to go ahead and use the 66 Jack, destroy the Swamp Deity, no protection. The man with the mark is gone. And as long as there's no spell activated here, the Verdict was not doing much. So entering the battle phase here, not going quite for game. So attacking through some trap monsters. We negated the effect of SP Little Light, so we're just going to attack directly for 1,600. Going to the main phase 2. Is that going to be it? Just Just afraid of Verdict of Anubis. It looks like we are going to go into Zeus. And Zeus is still a very commonly played card in this format. There's a lot of Xyz summons, of course. And now you have so much protection. Your opponent does anything that scares you. You can scare them. So Heim's drawing maybe for what is the last turn of their duel. And yeah, they surrender immediately, unable to get through the Zeus. So Primite Odeon does not take that duel. All right, for some quick updates here. Remember, it takes 4 wins to get to the top 8. Looks like Ivan Ryan up to 3, so won his first game. HB Hawk up as well, and Poi we just saw win. Let's take a look at some of these other duelists that we haven't seen just yet. I guess in top 8 we've seen pretty much everybody. Let's take a look at what's going on in the snake corner of the world. All right, does the Sultan of Snakes continue? They're going to go second, so I guess they won the first one, obviously, so their opponent getting to start things off. Starting with Poplar. So we've seen some Snake Eyes before. I wonder if there's going to be any intersection of Dark Magician here. Poplar puts out our field spell, meaning we probably have original Simple Squirrels already. Link Karibo off the Poplar, but that means we get to use the Snake Eyes via Bellstar. So we're not using the effect there because we're going to use Poplar's effect now after we summon out the Snake Eye Ash. Chain Link 1, Snake Eyes Poplar, putting itself out, and then Chain Link, well, 1 again, Snake Eye Ash. Ash is going to go ahead and get Oak. Oak is going to be able to special summon back Poplar, some classic combos from previous years. And there's Flamberge Dragon, speaking of snakes. Hexlex showed quite a bit of this yesterday on the top tables, using the Snake Eye Dia Bellstar engine in order to get to level 1s in order to make yummies. So we're getting Marshmallow Yummy and Lollipop Yummy off the Cupsy Yummy way and discarding the Marshmallow Yummy. Cupsy Yummy will be used to search out a Cookie Yummy, which tells me we've got to already have Yummy Surprise in our hands. We just don't need it. And now Baron de Flail. 2+8, you had to guess it. But it feels pretty good as we use the Flamberge effect to bring back the Ash and bring back the O. So it is Snakes versus Snake Eyes. IP Masquerena slapping down as well. I'm going to go ahead and Link summon a monster that cannot be destroyed. It's going to be Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. Last time we saw Hexlex play, they just went straight in for the Amphibious Swarm Ship Amplo Whale. Flamberge will place out the IP Masquerena. Baron de Flail is going to destroy Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames, getting to the graveyard to open up a Link Arrow. They'll use that for Yummy Statue, and then Yummy Statue will bring out Yummy Amusement Mignon. Yummy Amusement Mignon is going to go ahead and bring out the Marshmallow Yummy. No effect, of course, but you'll still get to Link Pro Summon into Lollipop Yummy Way, who can bring out even more Yummies from the graveyard. Introduce a Cupsy Yummy and Cupsy Yummy Way. That'll probably bring out either going to be the Shamisen, Subsolar Suncat, or the Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher being used to bring out another tutor here. So now we have even more Yummies. And this could be Link summoning out Sprite Elf. Oh, just good Yu-Gi-Oh! Good combo end. Sprite Elf brings out Lollipop Yummy Way. That'll be joined by a level 1. And after the Cookie Yummy Way combines, we also have Herald of the Arclight, which cannot be targeted by card effects. And then finally, Tributing for Link Karibo. Come get some on that field. Again, if you're trying to translate, you have the ability to move forward the IP Masquerena. You can negate and destroy. Obviously, the question's being asked, are you going to stop that Raigeki with your monster? Yes, we are. Sprite Elf doing its own protection stuff. Link Karibo being able to reduce the attacks to 0. And then you've got the chaining effects, of course, of the Yummy Ways. But that probably won't happen until we get to the Herald of Arclight. Saji Summon grabs out the Mitsurugi Prayers, Mitsurugi Ritual being negated. I love that Ivan Ryan knows you've got to do this, right? I'm activating over here, I'm activating over there. Negate things, right? And yeah, he's definitely one of the greatest Ogdoadic players I've ever seen. Now, this deck is getting around. I saw this recently from April, a VTuber who commonly plays Branded, put out that first 20-hour Branded deck guide on YouTube. And they showcased, like, oh my goodness, we lost to this. And this was this. But now we got our Chain Link 4. So we're going to bring back some Yummies. Yummy Snatchy and Cupsy Yummy. And looks like just sitting here on the Mitsurugi Prayers trying to figure out what to do. It's always cool when you find a character specialist. If you play like fighting games, there are people who are like, I don't care if this is the worst character, I'm going to play it. And they make it to the top 8 because they know what they're doing with that character. And I feel like Ivan, the profile icon frame says it all. Let's see what we get here. Speaking of synchro plays, we do have Cups of Yummy. Not going to Link Row summon just yet, but could be used for a Link Row summon with the Yummy Snatchy. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a deck that natively synchros. Thanks to Ella Skeletus and other cards. Glad they're in Master Duel now because they can do what you like, right? But Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring stopping Ivan from doing what he likes. Hexlex not just here to watch. Brought everything out they possibly could to just stymie the snakes. Shudder these serpents. Not done yet, though. Ogdoatic Daybreak. Tribute a monster. Let's get 2 tokens. Could be used for Reptilian Echidna here. There's 1. And there's 2. Still a lot of effects on board here. Opponent's board is full, but it doesn't take much to Link Row summon, then use IP Masquerena, then try to get rid of any of these little Daybreak tokens before they happen. It looks like we're actually going to use Yummy Surprise to target 2 Light Beasts and 2 tokens. And when tokens go back to the hand, they're gone for good. Oh, but Mitsurugi Magatama. Gonna go ahead and destroy. So getting rid of 1 of the tokens. But otherwise destroying it. I love how he's just playing to the crowd here. Hey, I could have done more, but I'm not done yet. Well, we'll have to see what happens soon, but I want to make sure everybody gets a turn here. So let's go over to, I don't know, Blue just versus Alice. Rocking the Abao Aku icon. Don't know if it's going to be Abao Aku. Don't worry, Snake fans. We'll come back. I certainly, every time I see those duels out of Ivan, it is a real treat. So we'll get back to it as soon as we can. Right now, looks like, I don't know, just Blue maybe facing a mirror match here as Alice starts things off with the Yummy Snatchy. Link summoned off the Marshmallow Yummy. And then we're going to go ahead and place the Mignon. You can always remember this. If you can't remember how to start a Yummy combo, if you've never played the deck, just remember orange, blue, green, orange, white. That's what got us here, right? Orange card, blue card, green card, orange card, white card. That Cups of Yummy way is going to be used to grab our Cookie Yummy. And Cups of Yummy to discard. Oh, it is Fiend Spit, so maybe Abao Aku's icon does dictate that we're here for Light Fiends. And we got another Fiend Smith Engraver, so we'll go ahead and toss that down. Grabbing Fiend Smith's track, still nothing out of, I don't know, just blue. Maybe too much engine, not enough non-engine cards. Grabbing the Fabled Lurry, discards the Fabled Lurry, of course. Special summon, I had to get over there. Teasing, of course, the game auto shuffle, but we're going to Light Fiend to the field, which means Fiend Smith, Requiem, Link summon is possible. These 2 decks work really well because, of course, that's a Link 1, so you can pivot towards your Yummy combos if you needed to. But that's not the direction we're going here, as we get kind of an empty Lacrima of the Crimson Tears. Didn't send the Fiend Smith cards to the graveyard, but we do bring out Fiend Smith Engraver, and we do Equip, which means I think we're going to bring out Necro Equip Princess. From here, you can build the overlay network and make a very strong Triple D Wave Hiking Caesar. Which is always like the pivot point, right? Do you go for the Desiree, or do you go for the Wave Hiking Caesar? I think in this deck, you really want to make sure you don't get a Birud. So the Wave Hiking Caesar makes perfect sense. We see the Link Karibo tag out with the Cookie Yummy to make Lollipo Yummy way. To grab 2 more Lollipos from the graveyard. Gang's almost completely here. Now we'll make what is likely Marshall Metal Marcher. Nope. Called it wrong this time. It's going to be Shumbus and some sort of Sorrow Cat immediately being linked off, clearing up some of the board, getting rid of some of the extra monsters there to make the Herald of the Arclight. But bringing back the Yummy Surprise here allows us to go ahead and bring back the Yummy Surprise here. And we could see the Martial Metal Marcher this time. Oh, it's the Sprite Elf instead. So going for the Sprite Elf, great. Oh, and look at where the arrows are, perfectly protecting my negates. I got 3 of them. I'm going to set 2 cards. Your move, Duelist. All right, I don't know, just Blue advanced over Cameron Neal, a World Championship competitor and 2-time YCS champion. Let's see if he can advance over Alice's board. Reveals for Habakiri, that's of course going to be a no, but the Mitsurugi Prayers is going to tribute and banish it before we are into the effects of the Herald of Arclight. And then the Wave Hiking Caesar's also going to say no. So negate and listen closely, negates. So still get that separate effect there to be able to add. Doesn't negate it with the Herald of the Arclight, but activating the Sky Striker, mobilizing Gate. That's going to get stopped by Dominus Purge. It's a backdoor combo into your yummies, right? You got the Mecha Hornet drones, be able to special summon a token, and Alice is not here to play around with that. But there's evenly matched. That is going to get rid of the Herald of the Arclight. It'd be a little too good, right? Unless there's just another evenly match. No, there's no other evenly match. We will see the plus signal to Nivelle. That's going to get stopped with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, so it won't add the Miracle Raven from the deck to the hand. Alice just playing out of their minds here. A perfect setup and perfectly executed. Let's see if Blue can break through. And speaking of Blue, Link Karibo splashing out the field. Lolipo Yummy jumping out, but now you get to use the effect here. Going to grab the Lolipo Yummy off of that, but really just going into defense mode here. It is just main phase 2. So here comes the Cupsy Yummy Way. Probably just wanted to do that to prevent the opponent from tagging out. Cupsy Yummy Way is going to grab a Cupsy Yummy and one other card. And the other card is Marshmallow Yummy. All right, Cupsy Yummy Way. Splashes down the Yummy Snatchy. So now it is really Blue's time to just get into this game. Cleared so much out. There's very little interference on the board now. So activating their own Marshmallow Yummy. I'm going to go ahead and link that off, and Marshmallow Yummy will become the Yummy Snatchy. Okay, not going for anything too fancy here. Just getting out multiple Yummies. Going to place that field spell. We talked about those colors before. Orange, blue, green, orange, white. But shuffling a Fiendsmith Engraver away first with the Lolipo Yummy for his trouble. Here's that white bordered Synchro Monster card. It's going to be Lolipo Yummy Way to extend this combo. Maybe Blue did break through, but it looks like finally Alice interacting. Going to go ahead and tag out the Cupsy Yummy Way, but that'll do the same for the Lolipo Yummy Way. About to see 4 Yummy Monsters join the field on, I don't know, just Blue's side. It's going to be Yummy Snatchy, as well as the Cupsy Yummy Way. On the rival side, we see a Yummy Snatchy as well as Cookie Yummy. And then finally, Lolipo Yummy with your effects negated. We are going to see Marshmallow Yummy and the it's going to be Cupsy Yummy. It is just crazy looking at how big the attack points are when you look at how many light beasts are on the field. That goes up and down and up and down. But here comes another fun friend, the Shamisen Samsara Sorrow Cat. Yummy Snatchy going to pay 100 life points. All the attack scores just going up and down and up and down. 5,000. This is an unprecedented Sugar Rush. As we see the Cupsy Yummy Way on Alice's side, grabs 2 cards, gets a Cupsy Yummy and a Cookie Yummy. Getting rid of the Lolipo Yummy, doesn't really need it at the moment. And now we'll see the Shamisen Samsara Sorrow Cat and the Marshmallow Yummy combine to make the Herald of the Arclight immediately linked off here for an SP Little Knight. And that makes sense because now you can go ahead and get to your Ritual Engine again with the Herald of the Arclight in the graveyard. And then banishing the Fiendsmith Engraver, really trying to like thin down the ability to play those additional cards, slow your engine down, just let me deal with the Yummies at least for now. So adding Illusion of Chaos, I'm still so happy to see this card in play again. Illusion of Chaos reveal, go ahead and grab that Magician's Souls. And then we'll put probably the Illusion of Chaos back. But Sprite Elf is going to go ahead and tag back in the Lolipo Yummy Way. Magician's Soul activating its effect, sending back the Illusion of Chaos to the graveyard. But that'll trigger off the Lolipo Yummy, so additional Yummies coming out with their extra effects. Yummy Snatchy, no extra effects here. But Marshmallow Yummy could recycle a card if it chose, and it will. Grabs back the Yummy Surprise from the graveyard. An opportunity to draw here, by the way, with the effect of the Magician's Soul. But it looks like we're actually going to use SP Little Knight to try to target the Yummy Snatchy. A very heads up from Blue, not trying to go for any of the level 1 monsters that can be tributed off with the Link Karibo. Didn't forget anything. But there's still a Link Crow summon because materials are on the field with that Link Karibo. So Cookie Yummy Way shows up and can put those monsters face down. Before that happens, tag them out, Yummy Snatchy and Link Karibo. So totally dodging this the same way that his opponent did. So goodbye Link Karibo and goodbye Lolipo Yummy. And Cookie Yummy Way back into the fray. Cookie Yummy, of course, going to tag out. But that means Cookie Yummy going to tag out. It's funny to see Chain Link 3 Cookie Yummy Way. Summoning 2 monsters, of course. Chain Link 2, Cookie Yummy Way. Chain Link 1, Cookie Yummy Way. Out of Yummies, though. Or, no space, actually. So, Yummy Statue coming back. And then introducing a new Cupsy Yummy. Lollipop Yummy, getting rid of the Shoppies and some sort of Sour Cat. Setting a card. Enter the SP Light returns. 4,600 attack. No, that's not even the highest. 4,800 attack is the highest. Battle Phase. Link Karibo is going to activate an effect here. Remodulating some of this. Sprite Elf tries to take the first swing. Its attack is reduced to 0. Then Yummy Statue decides it's going to go ahead and Synchro Summon here for Cookie Yummy Way. Cookie Yummy Way. Targeting some monsters, flipping them down, reducing attacks, reducing the number of attacks. Yummy Surprise being activated. Go and special summon the Marshmallow Yummy. Marshmallow Yummy will go and bring that back. But there's a replay, so we just destroy SP1 instead. Statue to statue. Just wildly large numbers on the field. This is really like cool stuff. I'm always glad when we click it on these. All right. So, come see me, Wayne. Gonna go ahead and bring in Cupsy Yummy and Yummy Statue. And I'd be sweating too if I was in this dual Yummy Statue. Oh my goodness. You can always see it's got like the little sweat mark, which are not on the card art, oddly enough. All right, so let's go ahead and see some drawn cards. Draw 1. All that pomp and circumstance for draw. But we do see the Link Karibo come out on Alice's side. Combo Jazz continues. Cookie Yummy Way, summon down. Sugar Crash, gonna go ahead and flip these monsters face down. All right, now it's going into Fiendsmith Town as we get Moon of the Closed Heaven. Moon of the Closed Heaven, gonna go ahead and Link summon away for SP Little Light, actually. A little bit of a detour here, but a great use of those extra cards. I'm gonna banish the Yummy Statue, really trying to slow down that level of recursion. Using the Sprite Elf, brings back a card. Attack Boost comes back, Alice passes turn. Light Fiends, still pretty good, huh? But so are Yummies. They flip summon, and it's battle phase time. We'll go ahead and see the tribute there from the Link Karibo. Link Karibo really important here, but other than that, no response. Link Karibo honestly really important as we see its effect activated again here. Finally, some Light Beast rejoin the fray. And decent attack boosts. Oh, Forbidden Chalice! I've been talking about this whole format. Like, Chalice just works. To just be like, cost-free, quick play, damage step, effect negation. Really, really clutch stuff. Blue is quite the duelist. All right, drinking deep from the cup here. That did negate the effect and slow things down with the Sprite Elf, but the Lollipop Yummy Way still able to summon some monsters from the graveyard here. A Yummy Amusement Mignon going to use its effect to try to special summon the Yummy from the graveyard. Attack points go up, attack points go down. We're going to go ahead and summon out our Lollipop Yummy Way again. So 2 more monsters about to join the fray. And as wild as this duel has been, by the way, it's like hard to tell who's going to make it out of this alive because very little life point damage has been dealt because even as giant as the monsters are, most of the opponent's monsters are the same size. Biggest number we see is 4,700. All right, Cookie Yummy Way, 5,000. Actually, it's over 5,000. Now they're all over 5,000. Oh my goodness, except for the tiniest Cupsy Yummy. Battle phase, let's just do some minute amounts of damage here. But wait, there's more. Yummy Surprise. Gonna special summon a Yummy monster from the hand or graveyard. Can't attack directly this turn. But that's gonna be Yummy Statue. And it's the only Yummy Statue on the field, so pay 100. But Forbidden Droplet, stopping things dead cold. Gonna get rid of an unneeded Molcharmi Bualos. And an Infinite Permanence. So there to negate 2 effects and reduce the attacks of 2 monsters. This may be enough. So now you can start to clear through your opponent's field. As long as you do the math right here. But Linkaribo able to just join the fray once more, reduce the attack of everybody. I think you have to make the Sprite Elf attack if it hasn't already. No, okay, it hasn't, just making sure. So it's going to trigger the effect of Linkaribo, which is fine. Reducing the attack to 0 there didn't hurt too bad from Alice's perspective. Still able to basically clear this field, 5,700, bigger than 53. Not going for the life points, just going for the differential to just take away all your opponent's monsters. So 400 from the Cookie clashes the Lollipop. Similar damage here as the Marshmallow destroys the claw machine. And speaking of which, take a Lollipop against the claw itself as Lollipo Yummy attacks not only Yummy Sash, you got a follow-up attack there from the other one directly on those life points. 500 life left. All right. See what happens when these monsters collide. Herald of the Arclight. Not a lot of resources left for, I don't know, just blue. May not even need to win by life point damage. Maybe just trying to force the surrender of their opponent. What can you do off of 2 cards? I don't know, just blue. Hopefully the answer is just blue and not I don't know. Standby phase passes straight to the main phase. Starts off with Sky Striker Mecha Shark Cannon. Amazing for the mirror match. Asking boldly to the Herald of the Arclight, you're going to give me that monster. Well, technically you can just chain Yummy Surprise, target the same monster, and then it doesn't get banished, and then it doesn't get special summoned to the opponent's field. And that's enough for blue to scoop. So, won on their own time by a forced submission. Still one more duel in progress. Let's find out what's going on with Ivan versus Hexlex here from Hexlex's perspective. Remember, this is game 3. And I think our last active duel. All right. Sultan of Snakes is still in it. Let's see what their opponent starts off with. They stake their soul, revealing Vanquish Soul Heavy Borger and special summoning Vanquish Soul Dr. Madlove. Vanquish Soul starts out from the deck to the hand, immediately activated. Seems pretty easy to go ahead and target. You notice Ivan, for the most part, plays through what's against him. Doesn't really worry. He might just be kicked backing, relaxing. And I love the vibes using the Otokage there. Reptiles even on the mate. But speaking of desolate circumstances, it looks like Rocket the Vanquisher is going to be here just as dry as the desert that is Ivan's field. Going to reveal off of the Vanquish Soul Hollow Suit the Dr. Madlove, and then reveal Fire in the Dark, including Xiaolong for a free summon. So about to get to our combo 5s. Caesar Valley is added off of the Raisin. And then revealing the Fire again, leaving it in the hand just so you can do that, and then now that it's been revealed, go and special summon that, build the overlay network. And this is going to be K9 17 Ripper. Can Ivan win back-to-back Deckmaster Cups? Well, whatever he's going to be facing is going to be seen here as Joe Cool reveals Lupus and grabs Lantern. Time for another Xyz summon. The next thing Ivan will have to play through is the Nash Knight. Nash Knight going to go ahead and detach 2 to immediately qualify itself over a rank up. But before it does, we'll see Lantern grab that Lupus back, just really extending as far as Hexlex can go. Grabs the case for K9, going to activate the case for K9, and use that to grab Isna, last of the family we haven't seen so far. Here comes the rank up. Nash Knight becomes CXC Nash Knight. And if you like Xyz summons, got good news for you. Here's another. For number 104, Umbral Horror Masquerade. So Umbral Horror Masquerade can be used to destroy that case for K9, but before we do one more Xyz summon, here comes Valid, the Super Size Sky Blaster. End phase. All right, let's see what you got. Pre-preparation of the rights practically glued to Ivan's hand. So adding the Murakumo, that's going to motivate the Borger here, tagging out the Razen. Borger hits the field, reveals to draw. Bad Love still in its possession. Triple Tactics Thrust, though, always feels good. Grab that Dark Ruler no more! Dark Ruler no more about to be activated, but before it does, going to do as much as you can here on Hexlex's side. Trying to get that Vanquish Soul Hollow Sue back, but yeah, just shoot out the lasers there. And now it's Snake time. Playing just against the hand, not against the field. Not able to do any damage, but able to get through everything. Well, I don't think it's going to be decided by Borger after all, because Borger decided to draw a card. But I don't have the exact start time. I'll keep note of that, but it is 45 minutes, and we are kind of getting around that point where it would be 45 minutes. So we'll see how this duel ends. Reveals 3 to destroy. Mitsurugi Prayers here to go ahead and tribute the Murakumo. Habakiri's added. Murakumo's effect as well. Grabbing the Mitsurugi Ritual. Revealing the Habakiri. All of a sudden, the Sultan of Snakes is back in his swing. Saji sees the field. Summoned shortly. Tributed. Grabs the Magatama. Mitsurugi Ritual. Now getting rid of Kusanagi. And Night Sword Serpent Classics. Alright, Amino Habakiri no Mitsurugi. Hitting the field, reducing attacks. Won't do any battle damage this turn, but it makes it easier to clear out the field bit by bit by bit. Night Sword Serpent joining the fray. And the Mitsurugi Ritual added back for its second ritual summon. Activating it now, we're going to go ahead and tribute that Habakiri. And say hello this time. Maybe Futsunomi Kama no Mitsurugi. It is! The Turtle Snake is here. Sitting in defense mode, ready to help reinforce the field. We will see before we can use that Habakiri to summon itself back. Bestial Magnuma joining the fray here, adding a dragon monster. If it even needs that, a dragon may just be used as a body. Yeah, it's affected. Oh no, it's affected activate. Got a little ahead of myself there. All right, going to be coming to Mitsurugi. Special another snake. 2 snakes go in. The King of the Feral Imps, Ivan's fan nickname, as the reptile monster is used to add the Ogdoadic King himself, Aeron. Ogdoadic Daybreak, tributing 8 stars for 4 tokens. Puts 2 in attack mode, Unafraid. Bringing back the Futsunomi no Mitsurugi, getting rid of one of the attack position tokens. And there's the Haggard Lizardos actually getting to use its effect as is proper. Banishing the Night Sword Serpent, reducing a monster's attack substantially. But now we'll cut right into Ragnarika, Selene Snapper. Selene Snapper's effect going to activate as well. Going to banish some additional stakes from the graveyard. Let's get rid of those spells and traps. Triple Tactics Talent activated here. Let's see the hand. There's the Molt Charmy, but the scariest thing is Razen for combo starting. And now Ogdoadic token becomes Link Spider. We need effect monsters. Let's see why. 3 plus 1 could be 4, but it's actually 2. It's going to be Skateboarding Person Little Knight. Espinal Knight's effect activates. We're going to banish 1 from the graveyard and then activate Mitsurugi Mirror. Murakumo about to shut things down. Finally, he appears on the field. His effect activates. Goodbye, everything. Knows exactly what his opponent's hand is. Mostly Vanquish Soul starting cards, so he's got to get something to prevent his opponent from starting any combos. Selene Snapper's back in action, but the Izuna's going to try to jump into the fray. Lupus too. You thought he was down and out, but now we see the true test for Ivan. Getting rid of that Molcharmi Purulia. Izuna and Lupus's effect both activate here. But before, Skateboarding Person Little Light trying to jump in, stop things. And now we'll see the Vanquish Soul Halisu special summon itself to the field. Halisu, not as threatening as before because taking the lowest defense monster, well, your choice if tied. Could be a Link monster, but otherwise a token. Going to activate that effect, Earth and Dark Reveal, Dr. Madlove, and a second copy of Halisu, but unfortunately, you got stuck with a token. No damage here. clearing everything, just keeping the token. Not going to leave an attacker monster on the field. All right, now it's time for Ragnarok and Chain Coils. Chain Coils. Just galaxy brain level reptile gameplay. I know I said it last time. I named my YouTube video the best reptile gameplay I've ever seen. I think Ivan may have gotten even a little better from last week. All right, Hexlex, still a competitor all their own. Deserves to be in this top 8. Let's see if they're able to fish out a win from this sea of snakes. So, Vanquish Soul Dr. Madlove. Paging Dr. Madlove. No effect, so no additional canine, or excuse me, Vanquish Soul cards. Gonna use Dark and Earth to return the lowest defense monster in the field back. So perhaps getting rid of the SP Limelight, or perhaps getting rid of the Coil. Let's see if we try to do anything there. Maybe a Grave Purification. Chose to let it go. All right, so as we see, our effect of the Ragnarok Chain Coils, which again keeps you from activating the effects of monsters in the hand this turn. So everything must be dumped out from the Vanquish Souls. What a great heads up, like, play to add that in. Looks like we started at approximately about 45 minutes ago, so it's really anyone's game. It should, if I remember the Duelist Handbook, proceed on a turn-by-turn basis from here. If you can get all the rules for this turn, and there are still slots for the 1 and 2 weeks. So let me give you the link to the Discord. But yeah, it could just be anybody's game. That evenly or excuse me, Dark Ruler No More was critical, but it did prevent Ivan from getting a leg up here. And he's kind of out of luck when it comes to Mitsurugi Prayers. Can't take 500 damage. So we'll bring out another Ame no Habakuni. This could be Ame no Murokuma no Mitsurugi. Caesar Valius arrives. We know there's a heavy Borger. Damage is close. The SP Knight's certainly there to help. Prevent a lot of stuff, but now we're going to try to destroy all the monsters. And we've got the Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi. Able to just keep the resources coming, protect those life points. Mitsurugi Mirror is activated as well, shuffling back in, but now we'll see the Call by the Grave. And what's the target? It's going to be the Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi, so no extension. Murokuma going to force out that negation. You got to get rid of one of your last pieces. And if you don't have the right attributes, you may not even be able to play any of your cards. Do we negate? We do. We pitch the heavy Borger. The conversation's changed. The VTubers are laughing. Mitsurugi Mirror going to go and shuffle itself back. Unfortunately, no Mitama. We do destroy those cards. Now, with just that field and only one card left in hand, it is still Hexlex's turn. End phase. Play passes. That's not a whole lot. I know we got to do this fair and square, but I think this may be it, friends, for Hexlex. At least for this duel. All right, Zoha, the Ogdoadic Boundless. Remember, life points are tied, so no photo finish. Got to cause that life point damage and then end the turn. Here's the summon of Zoha. Battle phase. Take no chances. 32. It's good. 16. Espiel and Let's Attack is good. Zoha. It's good. You got a Karibo. You better use it now. Because if not, that's game. Okay. What a match. Wow. Crime scene all cleaned up. So, still got some gameplay, but just as a quick update, for our advancement to the top 4. HB Hawk, Ivan Ryan, and Poi, with the last 2 being I Don't Know Just Blue and Alice. And just to get their wins and losses, Alice at 3 and I Don't Know Just Blue at 2. So Blue's got to win 2 in a row to be able to get it. And we're basically at the end of this round, so there's no draws. Single elimination is a thing. But yeah, this has been good so far. Let's see what happens in this duel where Alice could close it out. All right, starting with the Piri Reyes map. Betting the farm on this one to lose all your life points. Well, half. To get the Cups of Yummy. Ooh, but before we even get going, Little Sharpie for Wallace was revealed, but it'll be stopped by Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So, linking off the Cups of Yummy into everyone's favorite claw, Yummy Snatchy. I love the little crowd friends in the background, like, hey, I'm here to pinch, I guess. But Yummy Music Mignon will go ahead and bring back the Cups of Yummy. And now it's time for a Cups of Yummy way. So he's going to try to play as hard as he can, get as many resources as possible. All right, goes to the graveyard. Now it's time for Marshmallow Yummy, as well as Cookie Yummy. So really just pouring all the resources out there. Maybe going right into the Herald of the Arclight, but now we're going to see Draco Tail Phimena here. A total switch up from Alice. So Lucaeus and Frixel combine into Draco Tail Artholian. And Draco Tail Artholian is maybe going to punish this, getting rid of the Shummas and Sumps of Rosaro Cat and activating the effects of Lucaeus and the Frixel. So setting Ketu Draco Tail, just setting the starters, not worried about finishing this, wants to start this turn. Alice cannot wait for it to be turn 2. And similarly add Draco Tail Lucaeus from the graveyard to the hand. Yummy Surprise is going to be activated, bringing back the Yummy Marshmallow. Yummy Marshmallow's effect will activate in turn, bringing that back. Yeah, oddly, this is the first Draco Tail we've seen all day. But Link Karibo splashing on down. Now we've got some sort of Yummy Way coming our way, and it's going to be Lollipop Yummy Way. We've already used the Cup of Yummy Way, so let's go ahead and stack additional monsters here. Cookie Yummy, Marshmallow Yummy. We'll lose a few of those to make another 3 here. I assume this is going to be Marshmallow. Oh no, we just went right back in the Shummas and Sorrow Cat. Really trusting the Shummas and Sorrow Cat. And now we've got the Herald of the Arclight. Herald of the Arclight going to be used for a gravity controller. And now that the gravity controller's been used, of course, that means the Herald of the Arclight allows for the ritual stuff. So Yummy, Mitsurugi. Oh, Illusion of Chaos, actually. So pre-preparation rights already had access to all of its Mitsurugi cards, but now we're going to see that much more. As we see Habakiri bring out Saji. Saji was tributed. Saji, of course, can use its effect. This is very interesting to see kind of a double down here. Just trying as hard as he can, doesn't want to let the opponent get to that turn with every single piece available to them. So Amino, Middlecom, and Mitsurugi going to go ahead and destroy that Draco Tail Artholian. And then Habakiri going to bring itself back and grab a card for its trouble. So Mitsurugi Prayers feels pretty good there. And there's the Mitsurugi Mirror to bring the Habakiri back. Habakiri arrives, 8 stars go in, 8 stars come out. And now that Murakuma's been tributed, basically the same song and dance here. No Futsuro Mitama this time though, so basically just building a decent field. Curious to see if we might end up seeing the zombie vampire here. But at least for now we're not, as Illusion of Chaos grabs Magician Souls. Tuck that away for now as we use Magician Souls. Dumping the Illusion of Chaos immediately there, and then getting rid of spells and traps to draw cards. Not worried about the field spells, always bring it back. But here comes the Cookie Yummy. And that's basically just a tutor monster here, as the Ronde de Flail appears. Allons-y, battle. That is going to make the Draco Tail Artholian come out, but not worrying about the face down cards, definitely not worrying about Draco Tail's interactions in general this turn. Totally fine just making them negate that and then destroying the face down rock, bringing back a single copy of the Shaman's Den and setting 3 cards. Starting out with a Yummy Surprise, though, immediately brings back the Lolico Yummy Ways to the opponent. If they're going to interact, well, we're both going to interact. But definitely negate the Ketsu Draco Tail. Can't let the opponent fusion summon or add an additional card from the deck to the hand. Maybe Alice didn't make the right choice here, and we do have a game 3 coming our way. Using the Lulu, though, looks like we're going straight into Typhon. So Superstar Slayer, Typhon, Sky Crisis, of course, your opponent's specials from the extra stuff in the morning. Just summon it by Exceed summoning off your strongest monster. And even if it's a little monster, still works, like Lulu. Gonna try to bounce here, but before we do, not only doing the Mitsurugi prayers, but also doing Forbidden Droplets. Such a powerful card. I think it's gonna do really well against Draco Tail because it keeps your cards off the field here. It certainly works like the Double Cyclone does, but even more fun when you have monsters. So negating and having the attack there, even further down because the Amino Habakiri and Mitsurugi. Gonna go ahead and pitch off the Dimensional Barrier. Try to destroy the Draco Tail Sting. It is being activated, but that's not going to do a whole lot here. And even then, Murakumo saying, you got to give it up, and he does! Pitching off the Lucaeus Alice. Not worried about it. Gonna shuffle the Malulu. Draw a card. Was it worth it? Well, I don't know if we'll live long enough to find out. 32-16. Oh, and even then had the Mitsurugi prayers. So wants to finish this off right, special summon back the Murakumo and attack with the Murakumo to say, nah, I already have this. Grabbing another Habakiri. There's Murakumo. And let's see the Statement Duelist attacks with the Murakumo by itself. Nice. Game 3. Gotta love to see it. Going the distance. Because as we check our room members, still actually tied between X-Slayer and Hexlex there. Oh, I guess unless they got eliminated, because it should be 4. So we've got 3 4s. So yeah, it's just going to be the, I don't know, just Blue and then Alice. So, woo! Take a second to breathe there. Stretch your arms out, your legs, because we still got half this tournament left. But just incredible stuff. Again, take a look at the bracket and looking at our room members here. So Ivan advanced against Hexlex. Then, of course, X-Slayer fell to Hellblazer Hawk. That's what the HB stands for. We know that Poi advanced against Hines, and so we're just trying to figure out what's going on with this last set of duels. Maybe they're talking in the chat here. Guess we shall see. But either or, man, what a treat so far. And then once we move up, that was top 16 to top 8, which is what we're in now. We're about to go to top 4. Goodness gracious, Duelists. Goodness gracious. Because you just hope for good gameplay like that. And again, let's just take a second, because we got a second. Just stretch out, including the legs too, friends. This has been a really cool event. I love the Deckmaster Cup because it lets duelists just throughout the dueling community, whether they're people who travel for all these different YCSs or they're just somebody who just like hobbles around in the darkness of their bedroom playing Master Duel. Nothing wrong with that, right? But it's cool because you get to see like these dream matches against like these geniuses playing against people who have like really established records. And speaking of which, jump right back in as our duelists appear to be sitting down here. I thought these two already went. Maybe we're gonna have a top 4 match. We might actually go ahead and play our top 4, or yeah, might just go ahead and take a look at the top 4 side. If we do, I'd love to go ahead and jump to that side just so we can see who's advancing. What do you say, chat? Do you want to see the end of Alice versus their opponent? I don't know, just Blue, or do you want to jump immediately into our top 4 as Ivan gets ready for HB Hawk? I'm not in the driver's seat today. I mean, I'm in a seat, but you pick where we're going. Snakes? Or technically more snakes. Do 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 do. Do do do. Hate to sound like a certain hedgehog, but I'm waiting. They may just be sitting down waiting to start. So we may get forced into seeing the other side here, which is fine. That happens. It's a thing as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Judge. You consolidate your area, and if it's a single elimination tournament and one part of the bracket's already ready, you can go ahead and start those duelists. So we'll see if they end up doing it. Yeah, I tend to agree. Would be nice to see the climactic finish. Both these duelists really got to give it their all. Take a look at what the single elimination duelist booklet looks like in terms of the rules here. So, going through the official Discord. Haven't started dueling yet. All right, rules and format. Master Duel Duelist booklet. Oh, they did start. They did. So looking at the time rules, overtime rules. Anything about single elimination as I read through this? Doesn't seem to say anything specific about that, so maybe they got some instructions. But it does look like we're going to have to kind of... Oh, never mind. We do get to see the climactic finish, and then we'll just jump over to the other side. So we got a split differential here. A little bit of the top 4 started, but we're going to round out the top 8 here so we can see the end of it. As was elegantly said in the chat, finish what you started. Let's see what we get. So Poi gonna go first. Atlas seems to have swapped up the collection again. K9 to Roy, slapping on down here. And just trying to figure out which non-machine K9 monster we're gonna special summon out of the deck here. Oh, but there's the chain. Max C, the one of. But Isna immediately jumping in here. Stop in the name of the law. You activated the card from the hand. Maxi is going to resolve, though. So this already is threatening quite a bit. We could see Poi try to cut his losses. Maybe make a half board, as it's called. Oh, but now we got the Volcharmi for Wallows, really threatening. Are you going to go ahead and let me draw, or are you just going to call it a turn? Well, Joe Cool's effect activates. Going to go ahead and grab another Isna. To me, that says we're going to wait it out for next turn. Because that's the thing is, K9, you're in a really good position. You don't have to just keep on going. It's a big decision to make, though. Game 3. Want to get into that top 4. So we're going. We're taking the bait. Give up 2 whole cards here for K9 17 Ripper. Draw 2 cards. 2 cards. That's got to at least be discouraging. There's the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring chaining onto the K9 17 Ripper, but K9 17 Ripper has an answer for that. Does it use it, though? Does use the answer. Attaching a material to negate that activate effect and negate it. You only use each effect once per turn, but you can use both effects once per turn. So Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring will be stopped. And gonna go ahead and add from the deck to the hand a case for K9. And then set the K9X forced release. Feeling pretty good so far. Goes ahead and plays the case for K9. It's a clutch game. Every decision matters. But we will use Naroi to go ahead and send the case for K9 to the graveyard. Let's see what's in this hand. Yummies. Animal Charming. I guess you want to get rid of... You're out of materials, though, so there's not really anything you can do if your opponent activates effect on the hand, so you can't even stop the Yummy Snatchy from being link summoned off of the Marshmallow Yummy. Okay, so play passes. Goes ahead and cuts his losses from there. This may be very difficult as Alice jumps in the fray. Now, which of those cards to start with? And what are you up against? Because we only know one Duelist stands. Well, looks like we're going to start with Fabled Lurry, linking off into Fiendsmith Requiem soon, unless we get rid of it. Even a Book of Moon right now could be earth-shattering, turning off the ability to get a Link 1 monster on the field for Alice and be able to do yummy combos based off that. So, looks like we're going to take that. K9 X Forced Release. Leveling up the Ripper and possibly destroying a single card here. Maybe that normal summon was doing too much, but it also means you still will have the Marshmallow Yummy to look forward to. Here comes the Werewolf. So, again, I'm starting to get very suspicious about Lupus. But as they always say, it's never Lupus. So here's the Marshmallow Yummy we were talking about. Hopefully you have an answer for this, because if you don't, you're about to see every Yummy card in the strategy. So Lupus coming out now. An effect activated in the hand, which would be the Marshmallow Yummy, kind of forcing that out by destroying the Fabled Lurry before it could become Fiendsmith's Requiem, preventing a Link 1 monster from hitting the field. Lupus activating that effect. Plenty of options here. Could just be the Psy Blaster. Is it Valon? 2 5s go in. Let's see what comes out of our overlay network. It is Valon, the Super Psy Sky Blaster. Try saying that name a few times fast. It is a tongue twister. All right, but that's going to flip down the Yummy. Is that enough to lock Alice out of this game? Yummy surprise. Freshly drawn, I believe. It's still able to banish. And that's the game! Alice concedes, and Poi advances. Well, we already know part of our top 4. Let's go and check out what has already started. Hines will be up next too, so let's see the Sultan of Snakes hiss his way on into this duel. Ivan winning the coin flip but choosing to go second. If this is the first duel, that's quite curious, but I guess he's kind of on a one-trick pony. Maybe a one-trick poison a snake. All right, but catching up with our duel here, Noroi brings out Jokool. Jokool grabs the Lantern. Then Noroi will get rid of that case for K9. Show that you got Raigeki and various other sneaky cards. Ripper will go ahead and detach the Jokool to grab Jokool. And Lantern's going to use that effect to tag its partner card back in, 66A and 66B. I love that they share a badge numbers. Like, neither of you could be an officer, but both of you together can be one. All right, building the Overlay Network. It's Infinitrack River Stormer. What kind of Earth Machine are we going to fish out here? Well, looks like it's Scrap Recycler. Crystron K9. Nice. All right, so we see the Crystron inclusion get out Crystron Sulfador. Jokool is going to reveal that Sulfador. And now Crystron Sulfador are going to send 2 Crystron monsters to the graveyard. And we'll see the Link summon here of our Platinum Gadget Machines. Nice. All right, so Platinum Gadget able to summon out the Scrap Recycler. Scrap Recycler sending Spell Canceller to the graveyard, which really may be a hindrance to a very spell-centric deck and hand. Then we'll see Armoryle, Crystron Spiker. Wow, okay, so Crystron Spiker going to banish himself, add back the Crystron Cluster. And then we'll see the Crystron Sulfanier, discard a Crystron card, special summon himself to the field. Crystron Inclusion is destroyed, and that's okay, because now we'll get to see the Exceed summon again here. The Imperial Princess Kinkari, who can bring back level 5 monsters in the graveyard. And so here comes Spell Canceller. And I don't know what you do as Ivan, because your spells are canceled. This is not happening anymore. Maybe fun from Hawk's side, but uh-oh. And Spell Canceller is a great card. So Crystron Sulfanier joining the fray. Don't think you're going to get rid of that Spell Canceller. It's too vital. So instead, it'll be destroyed. We special summon Sulfador to the field. I mean, it just happens sometimes. Spell Canceller, always a card that Duelists have been obsessed with over the ages. Like, how do you get Spell Canceller, Jinzo, and something else onto the field? Talking about that since Spell Canceller released. But speaking of great machines, here comes Crystron Eleskeletus activating its effect and adding back the Crystron cluster. Similarly, Crystron Tristeros can banish itself from the graveyard. Targeting the Eleskeletus, don't worry, it'll be back, friends. It loves going to the graveyard. As Sulfidor and also Sulfidor are summoned. 2 5s. Gonna build the overlay network for another Exceed summon here. Now we've got Cyber Dragon Nova. Oh no, Ba, as we see Cyber Dragon Infinity pop out here. Yeah, the music should get a little bit more dramatic, because how do you get out of all this? No spells. 1 effect, negated. 1 effect from the hand, negated. It's a very strong field. The Master of Machines has shut down the Salt and the Snakes. That's game. And taking a look at their history, was that a full shutout? Hawk 1? No. Okay, they're about to go to game 3. And because we've just started things off on Heinz, actually Heinz is not our opponent. It's going to be Poi versus Alice. Let's see if we can have the best of both worlds. Those two are going to have to think for a second. But just so we don't miss a moment, I'm going to go into my auctioneer mode. We're going to fast forward this so we can catch up to what's going on. But they're about to go to game 3. Here on the other side of our top 4, we've got Malice getting stymied a little bit by the Maxi. But now we're going to see it's Yummy, and didn't get rid of the Troll and Lockbird, actually. No need to. So Chessy Cat going to go ahead and banish a draw 2, and we are live. Draws 2, activates the Malice P March Hare. Definitely a Malice stand for sure, though. Pretty cards. Good to see Malice still getting the reps in. You know, the deck was always joked about being a bridesmaid deck in the sense that it always took second place. And I think the one YCS that Malice actually officially won at, it was a Malice mirror match. No shade on Malice Duels. It's a great deck. Incredible deck. It just, for some reason, hasn't had its moment. Maybe the 300 YCS this weekend. Maybe Malice wins all 3 300th YCSs. But we are going to see the March Hare brought back from the banishment. Card is set, and that's passing the turn. Maxi did stuff Alice's gameplay for this game. Boy, good stuff so far. Let's see what you get in this. Also kind of flagging Malice. Ooh, doesn't want to show anything to the opponent. Concedes. Oh no, the connection failed. That's never a good time. But that does count as a loss under the rules. So, Alice losing that one, but still in it if they can bring back their connection and just keep it stable. Ivan and Hawk just about to duel here. Whatever it was, we don't get to see it. Man, this tournament is moving fast, by the way, and we're going to know our top 4 pretty fast. I guess I need to ask to see if there's going to be a 3rd, 4th playoff we can watch. So our top 4 is Poi, Jeff the Person Man, Hellblazer Hawk, and Ivan Ryan. But only one of those people is not going to make it, and there is going to be a 3rd, 4th playoff. Well, speaking of playoffs, let's find out who doesn't have to worry about the 3rd, 4th playoff. Because only one of these duelists is getting left out of this team. All 4 of them, incredible. Certainly high caliber duelists capable of representing Team IP Masquerena in February 28th 3v3 tournament. But I keep saying that number 3 because it's top 4. And unfortunately, somebody's got to go. Bronze medal is super important here, actually. Bronze medal will get you there. And speaking of getting there, Ivan starting off his turn, sending the Ogdoadic Remnant. See the next snaky thing he does. A set card is not strong for this deck. Unless you're just going to tribute a reptile monster from the field. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Seems like no response. Let's let that chain link resolve. So Keruz, the Ogdoadic Light appears. And Saji was the tribute. So let's add a Mitsurugi from the deck to the hand, but chain block it safely to special summon that monster back. So another level 4, slowly but surely working your way up to a King of the Feral Imps. It's good gameplay though. If you set it, your opponent obviously can't do anything with it. And nice chain blocks, of course. Gonna hit that Milcharmi for Wallows here into the chain links, but we'll see how scary that really turns out to be. Perhaps a Call to Haunted? Or excuse me, Called by the Grave. Sorry, I got Maze of Muertos on my mind. Next Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game set. But it's just hard. It's hard watching this. You know, I love dueling, but like, this is hard to choose a favorite. Both of these obviously are high caliber duelists, but this was our reigning champion last week. Oh, there is a Call by the Grave. Okay, I am gonna like disappear for a moment so we can see this. Yeah, it's so cute. Had to be fast on my fingers that time. The no Milcharmi for Wallows, meaning that Ivan really has to go in with this particular turn. All right, Mitsurugi Ritual. Go ahead and see the effect of our Ogdoadic monster. Try to add a card. Oh, but there's the Troll Lockbird. That's also pretty good. And that's going to shut things down here. So nobody gets cards. You're not drawing and I'm not drawing. But still able to use Mitsurugi Ritual to Ritual Summon by tributing reptile monsters. So I think we're going to see our Ogdoadic monster go away unless there's something better in the hand. Seems like Wolsu was just tributed. Oh no, it's Aaron, the Ogdoadic King. Forget how many 8-star monsters there are in this deck, but there is Amino Monokuma no Mitsurugi. Certainly this wouldn't be the end, but it could be. I mean, it's hard when you're under Droll and Lockbird. Snakes love cards. Little known nature fact. But it looks like we're gonna link summon here. And it's going to be IP Masquerade, actually. With their brand new alternate art that was just revealed. So 4 cards, just facing down an IP Masquerade. Now technically 3 cards when you think about the Murakumo. No additional cards set on the field. You could see a Dynamundo off of that, but we're going to do Heavy Polymerization. 2 monsters on the field. Is this Lunalight? Could even be Archmage. Gonna make him pay. But as long as you discard a card that's not a Lunalight monster, you're okay. And kind of making it smaller, Ivan hip to the jive here. If he link summons a monster, he only has to deal with 2 materials from the extra deck. So, I mean, I think you do Dynamundo. You could do Espeon Light. Oh, it's going to be Link 3 WP Fancy Ball. So let it negate. Didn't want to discard. I think we're on Lunalight secretly. Lunalight Fusion activates. Uh-oh. lions and tigers. Well, at least ligers and bears, oh my. So sending Yellow Martin to the graveyard, as well as Gold Leo. Making Perfume Dancer. Uh-oh, this could be full Lunalight combo on its own. So Yellow Martin's effect activates. So there's a Perfume Dancer. We're going to use the WP Fancy Ball. It is fancy. Brand new card, by the way, if you're unaware of its effects. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field or graveyard, you can banish this card that was special summoned this turn until the end phase, negate that effect, and if you do, banish it. So it is a very strong card, actually, for this situation. Also, during your opponent's main phase, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, link summon a link monster, and if this card you control would be used as link summon, or material for a link summon, you can also use a link 2 or lower monster your opponent controls. So you can basically make your opponent's monster defend. So we are going to activate that effect. Brand new card does brand new things. But we're still going to see the Lunalight Perfume. So no Yellow Martin, definitely slowed them down, but they're not out. As Gold Leo hits the field, and when Gold Leo's summoned, you can grab a Silver Hound and discard it, and that's its own combo, allowing you to get Kaleido Chick and maybe push this even further for a Liger Dancer and game. No cards of any kind, really, it seems that Ivan has. So maybe we found the natural predator of snakes, felines. There's the Silver Hound and the discard. And you've also technically triggered Gold Leo, but I couldn't imagine you'd add that back to the hand. So I'm going to activate the effect of Lunalight Silver Hound. Oh, but we are going to Gold Leo and get that Silver Hound back. I guess we just need a name. If we got polymerization or access to it, then you've already pretty much got enough Lunalights that you need if you bring out Kaleido Chick now, because Kaleido Chick could replace the Lunalight Leo Dancer. So this is actually getting real scary real fast. There's the Kaleido Chick, just like clockwork. I love that they're all named after colors, but the one who can be any monster she chooses is a kaleidoscope. Right? Gold Leo, Silver Hound, Black Sheep, Yellow Martin. But for the one who's everybody, kaleidoscopic. Hawk is just staring into the distance, maybe checking their extra deck, thinking about it. They've got another Yellow Martin they're good, but it looks like they're going to banish the Lunalight Perfume. To add any Lunalight monster they need, trade a card. I think we got it. Gets rid of a heavy polymerization here. Oh, and there's the Lunalight Wolf. This may be over as we know it. So sends the Leo Dancer to the graveyard. Summons the Silver Hound. And going to use the Lunalight Wolf. Activates the effect. Going to banish many names as possible, but I think try to keep the Perfume Dancer. That's what we do so we can reuse the effects of the Lunalight Wolf. And at this point, you've already got game just from 3,800, 3,800, 2,000 alone. That's enough. And no effects during the battle phase. We go right into the battle phase attack. Attack. And with Perfume Dancer's attack added in, that's game. Wow, okay. We real serious about this. So, taking the win there. Hawk up a game. Nobody else currently dueling. Take a look at our room members. Actually, our room replay probably the most helpful here. So, Hawk, unfortunately, sending Ivan home with that Lunalight. So, we know that Hawk is definitely in it. But remember, Ivan can still make it, as we are going to have a third, fourth playoff. Similarly here, Poi has made it. Alice is going to be fighting Ivan to try to figure out who our third team member is. That's going to be an exciting match. Make sure I've got all the info right, and then I think that's Jeff the Person Man. So All right, they're going to send us the bracket soon. But yeah, that's it. So if you're a fan of Alice and you're a fan of Ivan, they've showed us some great stuff. I want to go ahead and focus on the third place playoff. I know the finals are very important. But technically speaking, the two duelists fighting for their life to represent Ouro Kronii, Koseki Bijou, and Raora are these two duelists. But don't worry, if you don't know, in 2 weeks, February 21st through February 22nd, there is a chance for you to come back. I'm pulling up just to make sure I've got everybody's name right here because... I know Scoop, yeah, Raora Panthera, so we got that. But the next one is going to be, it's going to be Fuamoko, it'll be Callie, and then it'll be Nerissa. So that'll be in 2 weeks. Still a chance. I know if you're a real fan, you know, you obviously want to see the stuff. But let's take a look at our bracket so you guys can follow along at home. Because this has been quite a day. This really has. So, showcasing who we got next. Here's where we've come. It's going to be, again, Poi versus HP Hawk. That Lunalight was clutch, and so was the Spell Cancelers. But, again, Alice and Ivan are going to be the ones trying to just stay alive here to make it. Just waiting for that third place match. And, yeah. Just take a second to stretch out. It's maybe the last chance we have for a moment. Oh my goodness. This is great. And then we get the 300 in like a couple of days. Gosh, Yu-Gi-Oh's in a great place right now. Okay. Just uncoil if you were a snake, right? If you're a fan of feline, just stretch out. But that's cool to see Lunalight do that well. What a surprise there. All right, duelists are sitting down. And, of course, we'll still take a look at HP Hawk. We're not just be like, nah, nobody cares about the finals. But I am curious because, again, the real prize is representing your favorite in the 4th Master Duel anniversary. So, 4th anniversary tournament for Master Duel. Words. Great time. So, I upload all of these to my YouTube channel, by the way, so if you missed anything or you want to showcase anything, you know where to go. And I'll get that uploaded probably later this evening. Got a couple of things right after the tournament going. But, man, oh my goodness. It's a good time. It's a good time. We will crown a champion, settle on a team, and curious to see what Ivan's got because, obviously, you know, snakes do have a weakness. No spells, no snakes. Okay. Top cut time. No better time than top 4. And at some point, it'll be time to duel. They got to be on pins and needles, these duelists, though. I got to say that, like, if you're coming into this tournament, you get so close you can taste it. And Ivan worked hard enough, and so did Alice, that they get the second chance duel. Nobody else in the tournament gets that in the single elimination bracket. They just, you go home. Meanwhile, though, HP Hawk, Poi, feeling pretty good about themselves, right? They're definitely qualified. They're definitely getting to participate. So they'll get all their prizes, and they will get to clash against whoever is on Team SP Little A. Because, again, this was for IP Mascarena. And it's going to be the same rules as always, 45 minutes. Best 2 out of 3. Assume we're about to start here in a couple of seconds. Maybe they're trying to get a round number ready for play. Could be instructing the players behind the scenes. Our finals is beginning. And so is our 3rd, 4th playoff. We're going to start with the 3rd, 4th playoff. Just to see, and then we'll jump back and forth. We still want to cast the finals. The finals are important. Somebody's got to be a team captain. Somebody comes out with gold. All right. Ivan going first here. just starting with the Nunu, the Ogdoadic Remnant going to the grave. So pre-preparation to the right, so we haven't seen anything from Alice yet. But there's the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Held it, wasn't worried about a snake going to the graveyard, but maybe getting Kapakiri feels a little too good. So Ritual Raven not getting fattened up this time. He's ready to be offered for the Ritual, but we will see Zoa, the Ogdoadic Boundless. Send, who already had the Mitsurugi there. Doesn't need more than a Mitsurugi Ritual in order to get that online. Actually, Mitsurugi Mirror, because there it is in the graveyard. But now we've got a Max C on top of it too. Oof. But another Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Very simplified game state. Both of them starving each other out. Limited combo options, but finally see some snakes. So Nunu hits the field. Joined by Zoha. 2 level 4s. That does mean King of the Feral Imps. We're building the overlay network. Light monsters go in, and we are building the overlay network. King of the Feral Imps, royal finish. Attaching materials, but oh, there's the Dominus Purge. Now it's just a 2300 attack monster. Anything else? 1 card hand? No, that's a pass. 3 cards for Alice. Didn't get to draw a bunch of cards, but did get Marshmallow off the top of the deck. It'll get special summon. No spells here, meaning we probably don't have many more Marshmallow or any Yummies in the hand. Yummy Snatchy hitting. Music sort of up-tempo now as we go ahead and place our Yummy Amusement Mignon. That'll target the Marshmallow Yummy. This may not be the best start for Ivan. He just got snuffed out with his snakes. But the Yummies are here. So Link Rest being performed, it's got to be Cups the Yummy way. Just working like clockwork. Making sure I am getting ready on some other side. Alright, so Link Karibo hitting the field, and that's the scoop. Ivan already knows that he cannot compete with that many cards, so not even going to try at that point. Doesn't want anything to happen to his precious monster. Meanwhile, it looks like we've already had a win here on the other side as HB Hawk loses to Poise. Poi might end up being the champion here. It's going to take a miracle. Snakes and Sweets. Snakes. I mean, that's basically the team name at this point based on their ace decks. Just wild stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and spectate from the beginning. Sorry about the back behind the scenes content. We're just trying to make sure we got all the info right. But it's been a great stream so far. Again, thank you for joining me on this Sunday. As we get to hear the song we haven't this whole tournament. Let's play a game. So Moltrabi Purulia gonna go ahead and cause the drawing of cards there. Oh, and there's Fualos too, responding to the Noroi Summit. HB Hawk trying to bring out a monster from the deck, but Poi not having any of it. Listen to the song all day. So now you gotta make choices. Could be a lot of card advantage being swapped on both sides of the board. We've seen that the half board from The K9 Vanquish Soul isn't that bad. They can keep playing on the opponent's turn, so you just save some moves for after these Mulcharmies basically wear off. So Case for K9. Sorry, I just got lost in the sauce of the song. Case for K9 activated here. I almost feel like if you grab Isna and you slow it down, you're fine. But considering your opponent already has 5 cards, I mean, but do you want to give him 7, 8, 9? Well, let's see what they have in the hand. So we are going to send Case for K9 to the graveyard. Just take a quick peek to see how bad it is. Oh, K9 Vanquish Soul with the Troll and Lockbird. Yikes. So maybe taking a screenshot, quickly notating that down. We know there's at least an Isna and a Vanquish Soul Xiaolong. Xiaolong's a little awkward, but there's also a Joe Cool. A lot of eyes on the finals too. I'm so proud of everybody for spectating in game. K9 Ripper, gonna go into Tatch here. 1 draw off the Mulcharmy Pualo, so we know that there's probably not any really great Vanquish Soul cards that just got drawn, or else we'd see a chain. Maybe forcing out the last materials from the K9 Ripper to get that negate. Do love this new field. But what are we doing with it? This is it. I mean, you want to be the champion. You want your name to be written up in lights. They've been really cool about shouting out everybody who won these tournaments on the official Twitter and everything. So that way, it's not just something that nobody saw unless they're watching this VOD. It's something everybody gets to say. All right, roll up your sleeves. Strap on your dual disc. And it's K9 Joe Cool as well. Hey, we've seen some weird decks here, by the way. I don't think you're paying to play if you're on Ogdoatic or Lunalite. But these two duelists, obviously very careful. And a lot of duelists, you know, we are entering into like this golden age of K9 Vanquish Soul because of the recent changes on the Forbidden Limited list. It's a great interactive deck. But this is going to be the new SP Little Light IP Masquerena field. It's got SP on the other side. You can actually see this field and try it out yourself if you check out the anniversary content that was added in solo mode. And you get to find out the storyline of why IP Masquerena and SP Little Light appear on a card together. They're best friends now. Something about justice. I'm not going to spoil anything for you. All right, another draw there. 7 cards in hand. It's Crystron. And that's going to get stopped, though. So the Crystron Sulfador is going to get hit with the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. HB Hawk maybe trying to bring out another Spell Canceller. We saw how it shut down his opponent, Ivan. Completely locked out the 4 spells in his hand. And hopefully stopping the Sulfador is enough, but you already have 2 5s on field. Can't make the King Carry. Could make the Platinum Gadget, though. Oh, actually, excuse me, Joe Cool is not a machine monster. It is an Aqua. Everybody's quiet. I mean, I am too. I'm waiting for the next move, but very cautious here as Hawk buys to try to win this championship. Already down a game, though, to Poi. About to find out who your team captain is. Or will you challenge them for the throne? Oh, yeah, Crystron's great. Crystron's actually had a really good run. Starting, I want to say, YCS Orlando last year in Supreme Darkness format. Steven Santoli, I think, got top 16 with Crystron. I might be mixing that up with YCS Rhode Island, actually. I think it's YCS Rhode Island. Oops. But yeah, Crystron's continued to do well. I think actually in Orlando it didn't do well because everybody was on, the #1 played card was Artifact Lancia. Not Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, not a Mulcharmy, Artifact Lancia. And so Crystron kind of gets caught in the crossfire there. Whenever they're going for the graveyard, Banishment's kind of fun. They like that. other big threat to it. It kind of like suffers from being vulnerable to other targetable effects. It's kind of the same way Draco Tail does, right? Draco Tail falls really hard to Ash Blossom, really hard to Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion because they work against the trap cards. All the trap cards. But speaking of work, Poi is revealing the K9 is not here. Got to special summon it. Chain links are on Hawk. Oh, you've got something you can do, fam. Gonna go ahead and activate the K9 Ripper, attaching material to negate that K9 Izna. Seemed worth it. Alright, that's all though. Wow. Decided to stop things there. Still has 4 cards in hand, but we are staring down 7. Let's see what Poi does to start their turn. A lot of options. We know they've got plenty of great K9 cards and a Vanquish All Xiaolong. But what did they draw for turn and with the effects of their cards? Besides this, no. We're going to start with Dr. Madlove. Paging Dr. Madlove. Alright, so, off of that, we're getting the Vanquish Soul start. Kind of a, you know, could be one of the two. Sometimes it's Sacred Soul, but the Vanquish Soul start, obviously very powerful, letting you get into pretty much anything you need. But I imagine we're going into Borger, and then from Borger, we'll continue the chain from there. So again, adding from a different attribute. Oh, but there's the K9 X Force release. So not trying to link summon into the Rock of the Vanquisher and then go for the Borger. Instead, going to go Darken Earth to bounce a monster. While it's still available to be a threat, right? The normal summon was used there. Unable to exceed, so unable to destroy him. So really good looking out for Poi. Here comes the Holly Sue, revealing the Xiaolong. Uh-oh, 2 level 5 monsters will be here before we know it. Sometimes, though, we've seen that they sit on the Xiaolong for a second to reveal later with Holly Sue's effects. Grab out the Razan. Interesting to see like how much of an impact Vanquish Soul has made on Master Duel, but also, as I've checked my socials, it seems like it's starting to creep out into the TCG based on the new Forbidden Limited list that went into effect and all the new cards we got this week. So maybe it's not Burst Protocol's moment. Maybe we're just going to see some old favorites. Play pass it briefly back over to HB Hawk. Not going to do anything, so we activate a case for K9. Something lurking in that hand of Hawks. Alright, so now we got the Roy. Okay, so revealing the hand, we've got Chaotic Elements, the 66B Lantern, Spell Canceller, and Izna. No pieces of interaction really other than the Izna, so you're not really worried about anything else, just trying to get through. This is a tough duel. If you notice, even I get quiet, you know, that's because I'm just locked in the same way. It's wild, though, how far we got. Gameplay's good so far. We're going to reveal the Izna, the last piece of interaction, able to get Lupus to the graveyard and maybe perform some kind of Xyz summon to stop your opponent before anything happens. If you slip it in before they get to the K9 17 Ripper, then you don't have to worry about any issues of your Lupus being negated, but you got to go fast. Fast. And nobody's summoning on an ace monster, so we haven't even had the music change yet to like it's up-tempo, phase B as it's called. Staring at the field, though, looks like they're gonna pass. Priority. And so here's the Ripper. I may give this duel up to Poi. Hawk having very limited options now for interaction. It is his to win. And perhaps off screen, we're finding out if Ivan makes it or breaks it. And if Alice can become our third member here on the team. Because we know that both of these two will be appearing later. Fighting in a Master Duel World Championship style 3v3 is my understanding. Everybody getting to play everybody. First to 9 wins. Or I think first to 5 wins. Don't worry, the rules will be on the tournament announced then. But yeah, there is the Lantern grabbing the spell card, a case for K9. So many names on the field. Not a lot of threats, no Mulcharmies, no Max C, no interaction from the opponent. Doesn't take much. So we will build the overlay network again. Another Xyz. So it's going to be Nash Knight, going to steal some monsters off the field here. Imagine we grab the Crystron. Feeling like Crystron Sulfin here? No, actually going for the Isnot just to stop worrying about it. Okay. Now we will finally link summon for Dr. Madlove. And again, rank up into CXC's Nash Knight. Up-tempo music. Just quietly saying it's so good. The music's so good. It is so good. All right, but we do see the Ember Horror Masquerade. We are going to reveal Zhao Long and Joe Cool, a Darken of Fire. Special Sipping the Raw Zen. I think this is Poi's duel to win. All right. So now there's the Vanquish Old Caesar Valius. This really may be it, considering just how many cards they're able to use. But destroying one other card means one other fearless attack, and there's so many numbers on board. Reveals the Zhao Long, reveals the Joe Cool, reveals the Holly Sue. By your powers combined, here comes Zhao Long, here to even things out. I think Poi's going to be your #1 winner here, but that doesn't mean our tournament's over because we still may be looking for our 3rd, 4th place playoff. Oh, it does have that vibe. And that's game. Oh my goodness, with all those attacks. Crystron's good, but Crystron can get stifled. And we saw exactly that happen. Let's take a look at our room members to see if this tournament's already been decided. Actually, we can do that faster on in-room replay. Alice beats out Ivan. So your 3v3 team members are Alice, Poi, and HB Hawk. Wow, GG's across the board. But yeah, that's it. We now know exactly who's got it? Oh my goodness. And the bracket, like, let's tell the story of how we got here. Because kind of insane and kind of just an amazing tournament. So, pull this up on screen. As you know, we started off with 3 World Championship competitors, Victor, Cam, and Esper. Hines beat Victor though. Poi, this amazing tournament run, beating Hines, beating Jeff the Person Man, of course beating Anestus, and then beating Hellblazer Hawk to get here. Hellblazer Hawk's journey, right? Beating Phantom Vizgot, shout out to the chat friend. Then beating X-Slayer, then beating Ivan Ryan, sending into the 3rd, 4th place playoff, and still making 2nd place, which is very admirable. And then Alice, also known as Jeff the Person Man, beating out Megacorn, beating out Vera, unfortunately losing to Poi, our champion, but getting back and becoming a teammate to his rival. So, wow. Like, really, really just incredible stuff here. Again, this has been another great Deckmaster Cup. It's cool to actually split things up. Yesterday we did all the Swiss rounds, and today we did the top 16. We'll be doing another one of these on February 21st and February 22nd, as well as a Deckmaster Cup for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And it's going to be Rush Duel on one day and Speed Duel on the other day. We'll take a brief break next weekend for some small little event nobody's ever going to remember or ever hear of again, called the 300th YCS. Holy moly. Just a wild time. I'm going to be putting some nostalgia content, maybe like a video drop this week, just to kind of celebrate like all the YCSs that I personally have been to, which I know is up there. Sorry, Grandpa's getting old over here. But jokes aside, thank you as always for joining me, and this has been a really, really cool event. Just a wildly cool event, because I'm very supportive of any time you get the best and brightest duelists from across the world to just show up and be like, yeah, I can play from my house, that'd be fine. Just chill, just like sit down in front of the computer and just start typing, figuring out their deck list, figuring out how they're going to play, and figuring out how they're going to show us great content like this. Those duelists, yeah, they duel for pride, yeah, they duel for prizes, but the coolest thing they duel for is us, and we get to see all that gameplay. So, if you enjoyed that, I won't be on stream next weekend. You can check the YouTube channel and the socials and stuff, but I'll be at the 300th, so I hate to tell you, if you hate the sound of my voice, you might have to hear it a little bit more in the future. I'm kidding.